What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are getting ready to move into some hot and spicy action. Of course, over with the MAG Invitational, hosted by the Black Jack Esports team. And of course, we are getting into some of those games here today. With me, of course, I have my co-host here being a fat man. So how are you doing today there?
Well, DK, I can assure you one thing. I'm very excited to be here, and it's been a big build-up, and I can't wait to get into the action. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's going to be quite exciting to see what these teams are going to be doing today and exactly how they're going to be approaching these games. For the first one up, we of course going to be heading over in towards those lovely dunes on the Erangel map to see what the teams are going to get up to. So of course, first up, we've got Erangel, then we're heading over in towards Miramar, heading over in towards Sanok, and then of course returning right back in towards the Erangel map. So quite keen to see what these teams are going to be doing and exactly how they're going to be going about the games here today. All right, so it seems like we're experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty at the moment. But of course, you can see Fat Man there. He's looking super excited. And of course, just waiting for the match now to get underway so we can hop in and see what's going to happen. As, you know, it should be a few moments left before we get straight into that. So, Fat Man, what are your expectations coming into the games here today?
Well, DK, it's a bit different for all these teams. Normally, they'd have a tournament like this over a couple of weeks, but tonight they've got one chance. They've got 4 games, and they're gonna have to be good from the very start. There's nothing like coming back in the 3rd game or coming back in the 4th game or coming back next week. You have to bring your best from the very start. So I'm expecting some big teams to drop on each other's drop spots, maybe try and take out one of the big dogs early on. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of risky gameplay tonight.
Well, of course, at the end of the day, that is what we want to see. We want to see that risky gameplay. We want to see that challenging play coming in from the teams as they make their way through here today. So we got quite a few teams also in the lobby here today that we're going to be having a look at just to see how they're going to be making their way on through. So, of course, we have the players there from the Honored Souls coming in. We've got the team coming in from Gamers United Nations. We've got G3 Temper, we've got Gorilla, Glue Esports, we've got the players from Yonkers, we've got the Young Thunder team, as well as Toxic Esports, Nibble Esports, Black Jack Esports, we've got the Euphoric Gods, we've got G3 AAO, the players from Ultra 6, we've got a VXR Esports, Divinity 6, we've got Akatsuki Rinnegan, we've got the MAG team, we've got Spaza 6, we've got Silent Killerz, and then of course the Scavengers. So quite a lineup that we've got with the teams coming in today. So are you expecting to see any teams potentially stepping up and giving that next level play here today?
Well, a few teams in those that yeah, definitely there will be bringing the heat, maybe surprising a couple of the bigger teams tonight. I'm going to keep my eye on SG for sure, as well as MAGVG. That's an excellent up and coming squad as well.
All right, so of course now we're just waiting for everyone to make their way on in, get into the lobby, and I'm pretty sure we've got pretty much almost everyone in the lobby. Not sure if we're maybe just waiting for 1 or 2 more teams to find their way on in, but of course we're now just waiting to get straight on towards Erangel to see exactly what these teams are going to be doing. So, Fat Man, tell me a little bit more about MAG and why we are having this MAG Invitational.
Well, DK, in simple terms, basically MAG just arrived in the community and they want to make an impact. This is the 2nd MAG Invitational they're hosting. They're giving away nice prize money, but of course their main aim or their main thing is obviously these wonderful gaming devices, DK. And I'll tell you, it's really, really worth the while on acquiring one of these devices, and obviously you can get that on their website at www mobilearenagaming.com, and they've got some great deals there. You will definitely improve your game. My game has improved with this wonderful device as well. So MAG, in short, they just want to improve the community for everyone all around.
So you're talking about the devices, saying that we've got such great devices. So what devices is it that they do stock, and how does that assist in improving your game?
Well, first of all, they started with the Red Magic 5S and as well as the Black Shark 3, but now recently the Black Shark 4 Pro was released, and DK, the features this phone has, it's got 18 gig RAM, it's got 165 megahertz refresh rate, touch refresh rate, as well as pop-up magnetic triggers. So, and all these functions and features is not banned, and it's endorsed by Tencent themselves. So, I mean, with just that pop-up triggers, you've got 2 extra fingers. So us noobs can maybe get to play on the same level as these guys, but it definitely gives you a big advantage. So 90 FPS, some of the newer phones obviously in the future will increase, and there's no devices on the market that gets close to these Black Shark 4s and these Red Magic 6 devices.
Well, that sounds like it's some really interesting devices, but of course, you know, we're about to get into this match. So if you guys would like to support MAG and have a look at the phones, of course, you can look down in the video description if you've got all the details and the links posted down below. So be sure to go ahead, give them a bit of a shout out there, give them some love, and of course, well, maybe even get one of your devices through their website. So be sure to have a check out on that. So of course, now, Fat Man, I believe everyone is pretty much ready and all locked and loaded and ready to go. So we're about to transition into the game to see exactly what these players are going to be getting up to. Are you expecting any particular team to step up and be the team to clutch that chicken dinner in the first match?
Well, DK, I want to stay neutral, but obviously my heart lies with G3 Temper, but you can't throw away Black Jack Esports. Cheddar and the boys, they'll definitely be coming for that chicken dinner. Resurrection Esports is in here. They're very good. Gun, I think they're only 3 players this time around, but definitely also one of those squads to look out for. They'll be gunning for the top position.
So definitely expecting some interesting plays to be coming in from the teams. But of course, you know, we have now loaded up the match. We've got about 30 seconds left on the clock before that plane takes off. And so then we'll be seeing exactly where that flight path will be taking us. So I'm hoping for an interesting zone to come in for the teams yet, of course, to see where they're going to be going. Now, who's the first team that you think would be the one to be sent back into the lobby?
You're putting me on the spot here, DK. I don't really want to single out anyone, but I'm gonna have to go with some of the underdogs. I mean, G3 AOE. It's a new squad. I know them. Obviously, my brother, he's one of the guys playing there as well. So I'm gonna be saying one of the underdogs, the guys with less experience, might be getting themselves in some trouble early on.
Well, that's definitely going to be quite interesting to see how the teams are going to approach this one. So of course, you can see that flight path now coming in all the way there from the western side over towards South George, making its way across, heading to just south there of Kameshki. So definitely a very northerly flight path that we've got here for the teams. But of course, curious to see if we'll have any teams potentially dropping a little bit further down south, even maybe rotating up with their vehicles into that position. Ooh, I believe your audio has decided to kind of go out the door on that one. So I can see your lips moving, but the audio is not coming through just yet. Maybe a bit of a mic malfunction that we have at the moment. A little bit of technical difficulty, but of course, as you can see, the teams all starting to make their way on through the region up in the northern side here. But a few teams actually are starting to push a little bit further down in towards those southern reaches. See the players there, of course, from Mula 6, I believe that was, or is it Ultra 6? All right, so I can hear myself, so that means the audio should be kicking back in once again. So that, of course, being the players from Ultra 6, rather, right down here on this western side, already starting it off with a little bit of a show of aggression there, running straight in towards the opponents. You can see Miyagi now just pulling up in towards the compounds, but of course, no brainer, already starting to go at it, finding a quick few shots into the side there of Toxic. So things really looking up for the players here from Ultra 6 right in the start of this match.
Oh, DK, sorry, man. I just got a bit of technical difficulties this side, like you. I mean, you can do what you want. Stream time comes, anything can happen. I did see Rila, the guys from Gorilla Glue Gaming, they taking out a couple of players there in the kill feed.
And of course, those shots starting to make their way on through, waiting to see. And as you can see, the players here now from Ultra 6 continuing on with the fights, still trying to get those shots in towards the players just down below. So things really looking quite tough here for the players. But of course, now we wait to see just exactly who will be the one to get that play. Who will be the one to move up and claim that chicken dinner for themselves. Of course, things are still looking fairly tough and spicy over towards that western side of the zone.
Yeah, Rozak School, that area definitely gonna be busy. We've got YNK, MAGVG. I know they favor Rozak, but they're gonna find them. And then we've got Temper with the Watertown drop. That's a bit out of sorts for them. And as obviously Black Jack Esports going for that Pachinki drop.
And of course, so many opportunities here for these teams to try and get those points in, get those kills going. But of course, as we now jump over in towards Povka, we see the players from Spaza making their way around. And of course, right here alongside them, we've got the players also from the Young Thundercats. So things are really looking like it could start heating up as we've got a few nades now finding their way across over into the side of the team there. And waiting to see which of these two teams will be the team to dominate Lipovka.
Well, DK, I'm really struggling on this side. Lipovka, very busy, like you said. ACV and then SG, very Licious and Cyrus 69 Virus, very difficult players to contend with. These ladies definitely know what they are doing. And Akatsuki, they just rotating away. They don't want none of that ACV running Malta at this stage.
So many points of contention coming in between these teams as they all now try to make their way around, try to make their way on through. As you can see, of course, the skill feed just absolutely lighting up with the teams as everyone is getting into the engagements. And of course, you mentioned the teams over towards Mansion side there, Akatsuki making their way on through. Well, we're seeing a few positions where the teams are all still fairly close together. We have the team there from Yonkers also now starting to strike, as we see also the players here from the MAG Vegeta team now rushing up right there alongside them. A nice bit of contention coming in as the teams are turning up that aggression.
Aimbot's getting revived there. Luckily got knocked there by a nade, so they are recuperating quickly and they got the squad wipe there. But we do have, it seems like we do have Gun not far off.
Oh, here we go. Come on. Who's going to get it? A nice follow through coming there on the side of MAG. But of course, as you can see, so many more teams just spread out through the region, still on the outskirts of that zone. We've got BJE, of course, taking up that position over in towards Pachinki itself. Here's Naya. We still have a few teams in the vicinity, but now we also have quite a bit of a wide rotation coming in there from Reki all the way over towards that far western side. A really, really wide flank coming in. But of course, as we jump now closer in towards that Gatka region, we see the players here from Ultra 6 making their way around. A few teams in the vicinity. So, of course, waiting to see who's going to be the team to strike. Who's going to be the one to turn up the pressure on it to the side of the Honored Souls, as they have one of those potentially sought-after angles within the zone.
Tika, I'm not too sure whether or not
All right, so here we go. The players there from Honored Soul now just making their way through. We lost Mr. Fatman there for a quick second. Seems like we're having a few technical issues on that side. But of course, we'll continue onwards and upwards through the match to see what these teams are going to be doing. Of course, still currently sitting on 17 alive. 64 players in total remain on this map. And of course, the players, as you can see here from the Honored Soul, making their way on through, trying to find that position, trying to find that angle. And if we can still see now the players here from the Young Thunder team making their way right on the heels of the players from Gun, who are also now trying to rotate on in. So we could potentially see these two teams starting a bit of a clash there as we have them in such close proximity. But of course, now here we go. We got Aimbot, we got Pounds, we got Plaza moving their way on through, rotating on up, trying to get into good position within the zone, taking a little bit more of a northern approach into this next phase. Of course, we also see the players there from PJE just closing in towards the Chopsticks region, taking up position there on the side. But we also still have the players coming in here from Divinity 6 all the way down on that Sosnovka Island. So it's going to be interesting to see where exactly they're going to try and rotate up into, and if we'll see them potentially moving into a strong position in this coming phase. Of course, now in the meantime, we're waiting just for Fatman to return so we can get back into some more commentary there. But in the meantime, we'll be keeping an eye on these teams to see exactly where everyone is going to try and go. As you can see, of course, the players here, this being the team from the Euphoric Gods, trying to find a brooch. Maybe even trying to secure the compound here. But Pablo, completely isolated, all alone, could be setting up a really strong anchor point there for the team if the rest of the squad decided to rotate up alongside him. So tell me, Fatman, what do you think we'll be seeing with the position here with the players from the Euphoric Gods? Do you think we're going to be seeing the players here from the MAG Vegeta team pushing up aggressively on towards them? Or will we see a little bit of a more passive approach coming into that?
Well, DK, I hope that you can hear me now. I'm fighting the side, I'm fighting my own battle, but it seems like MAVG's got control of that big compound there, and Euphoria, they look like they want to push in aggressively. Psycho, he's dead in the heat of it. Pablo already knocked there, and MAGVG definitely got the upper hand here. We've got Hunt, and Psycho is just third person peeking there. Psycho gets the knock and the confirm on Heat Wave, and excellent work from Euphoria.
It's looking really tight, really spicy. Oh! Up comes their shot straight in to the side of the players here. And of course, from the Euphoric Gods. Nice play by Psycho, finding the head straight into the side there of Bait. But of course, now will they be able to hold up as Pikachu is knocked just up ahead? Up comes Aimbot. The shots fly in. And the players there from Euphoric Gods get the finishing blows right into the side of them. So tell me, Fatman, would you expect the players here from Euphoric Gods to make it all the way up into that late phase? Or do you maybe see them succumbing to some injuries on the way through?
Well, DK, they already suffered from injuries. I mean, they lost 2 players. They're down to only a 2-man squad. So I'd believe we're going to see them play the edges of the zone. And obviously, you want to get into that end zone and just farm some kills.
Well, it's definitely going to be quite interesting to see how far exactly they'll be able to make it, how far they'll be able to get in the zone. But of course, now we see the players there from Gun also right there on the side of the players. I believe this is the Nibble squad. Yes, Nibble Esports right here in between them. Now just quickly trying to secure an angle as they now rotate up to the edge. A few shots already finding its way on through, but of course, you know, this is where we could potentially even see the team from Gun getting a little bit aggressive and start pushing up in a hot pursuit of them.
Well, just across the water, we do have Rez rotating away, and Nibble also decided they don't want any of that. But Rez taking a couple of shots there from Gun. So Gun just fighting off all these people, securing themselves that compound. And I do believe they think that they will have zone there yet again.
Definitely going to be interesting to see whether or not that zone shifts up. And yes, they do. They get the zone once again. But as we now, of course, look at this phase, we've got a few teams still positioned out in that blue zone. In fact, quite a few players still just hugging the edges of those blue zones regions and not really rotating in just yet. But of course, we've got 16 teams remaining, and this is the point where you could definitely see the teams already positioned within that zone, really taking up a strong angle and defending it for the coming few phases.
Yeah, if you can secure yourself a nice compound center zone, kind of like Gun did there. You see Resurrection, they're searching for a compound. But interesting, DK, up towards the eastern side, we do have the Gorilla Glue squad there controlling that mountain. And if the zone shifts towards that mountain, they're definitely going to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that one. Of course, it all depends on where the zone goes, as Everest could at times be a highly contested position for these teams to try and take occupation of. But as of course you can see now also on the screen, the players here from the G3 Temper team positioned right here on the edge, fairly close towards Ruins, with the players there from Nibble just up ahead of them, of course, now quickly swooping in on that drop, grabbing that extra little bit of loot. But now we wait to see exactly how they're going to try and play the zone, as so many teams are in fact now starting to line up in that more centralized position of the zone itself.
Yeah, and you will see the more seasoned teams and players, they definitely always head to center zone. I mean, Temper, like you mentioned, as well as Black Jack Esports, those guys always rotate as quick as possible to center zone to secure themselves just that bit of more advantage, and you can get the unexperienced teams rotating into zone, pick them off that much easier.
It's going to be quite interesting to see exactly how these teams are going to go about that. As you can see, a few shots now coming in on the Nibble side, as the players here, of course, are just trying to apply that extra bit of pressure, that extra few shots, as the players here from VXR Esports are now taking this engagement with the players from Nibble. But of course, Nibble now sitting on 3 players. We got Vindok, we got Pyro, we got Ronnie, and the shots now flying still up into the side there of the VXR Esports. So this could be quite a challenging angle for them to potentially try and get out of. But of course, you can see Vindok just finding the shot straight in through the window. Ronnie now already right there alongside them, trying to push on in. Up he comes with that aggression dial, getting dialed up towards the next number. But of course, this is what we want to see. We want to see this aggression mounting.
Yeah, the teams really need to up the ante here, and we see Pyro. He's just gunning for it, taking the knocks left, right, and center. And in the kill feed, we see Rila on top of Everest getting some heat of their own. And unfortunately for that, Nibble walks away with the squad wipe there.
I mean, a really good play coming in there from them, but of course they are not out of the woods just yet. We've got the players from the Euphoric Gods, of course, now taking occupation of the ruins, as you can see, positioned fairly close towards this church. So we could maybe see that third body shot coming in towards them. But as you mentioned, the players from Rila over towards Everest, making a long trip down the side of the mountain, of course, getting knocked out in the process. We've got a few players still remaining in the vicinity, but of course things are just heating up as these teams are all trying to take a good position, and of course also then trying to find those shots. As you can see, Illusion here now turning his shots in towards Cheddar as BJE gets found out, and the players here from Young Thunder continue to try and apply that extra level of pressure onto them.
Yeah, and the Whitey boys, definitely one of those underdog squads I talked about, DK, and just on the left of Cheddar, that's the Whitey boys, and just to the right, we got Akatsuki, and both of these squads, normally you won't see them competing with these guys, but it's always fun to see them coming around.
And of course, now we see the team still pushing in. Cyrus, the virus, trying to rotate in between BJE and the players there from Young Thunder, of course, suffering the consequences of those rotations. Now we see Snow trying to rotate right in between Akatsuki and BJE. The shots, of course, still now flying in towards the vehicle. In fact, the whole squad here now just trying to squeeze their way on through as Divinity 6 tries to find that angle, and Swirly now just doing some evasive maneuvers trying to get out of harm's way. But unfortunately, Berrylicious gets knocked out in the process. This is where we see the players there from BJE now just capitalizing on the carnage, picking off the players. But of course, BJE is not out of the woods just yet. And as we jump a little bit further down towards the south, we see the players from the Scavengers, of course, right here in the thick of it, right alongside the players from Ultra 6. No brainer, now just coming up with a few hits, and down they go. The Scavengers getting sent straight into the lobby.
And Ultra 6 doing good there, getting the squad wide. But just on top of the hill, we do have the other G3 squad scoping in. They heard the shots. They've got their sights on Ultra 6, but I do think they're going to option for the rotation into zone.
I mean, looking at the zone, you can see this is just a crazy shift. Once again, being inclusive of Everest. And as you mentioned, of course, one of the G3 teams there, the AAOs guys, now finding their way on in all the way from that southeastern side, creeping in right behind that potential point of contention, as we can see between BJE, the Young Thunder team, and of course the players there from Akatsuki. But now, as we move up in towards the north, the players from Gun, they found a slight angle on the players from Nibble just up ahead of them. And of course, we also still see the players there from the Euphoric Gods just a little bit further away up ahead of them.
The Euphoria Gods, they're definitely going to play this one slower. They've got that nice Regis going for them there at Ruins, so they won't be too bothered going in for fights. Now they're already standing on 5 team kills, so they just want to see the end zone. We do have Psycho currently getting dangerously close to the Temper squad, and he might be in trouble, and he is in trouble. Psycho gets knocked out there by Bowden and confirmed with that DP28, and the Furia Gods just down to Sunny, unfortunately.
Man, things are looking really tough for the front there of the Euphoric Gods. But of course, as we take another look at the zone, we can see over on Everest, we actually have the players from Spaza 6 now coming up alongside the team here from the Gorilla Glue Esports team, as they're now challenging them for that position. But we've got Red Zone in play as well, so things could really get pretty interesting between these two teams with the addition of that Red Zone now being in play.
No, that's not fun for them at all. And Rowe taking some damage there from Spaza. But this is going to be an interesting push here for Spaza. They can go full on for the push. We've got Anger coming in with the buggy. It's going to come and assist his team here. Zeke and Rowe definitely in trouble here. I do think that Trip, he's doing good by checking the other side of the mountain, and we can see that Gorilla Glue Esports decided they want to own this mountain. No one's going to take it from them.
Man, and they are putting up as much of a play as they can. But now they're coming in with a 2-2 split though. I mean, we've got a Row up in the front line here, right alongside his teammate, but it seems like they're getting ready to potentially disengage from this angle, as we see the players there from Spaza 6 now continuing to push on through. And this does definitely seem like the players from Gorilla Glue are just trying to move a little bit further over towards that eastern side. But things are still looking pretty tough as we go down to the southern side of the zone now. The players here coming in from Ultra 6, right behind the team there from Young Thunder, trying to get those utilities sent all the way across. But we are in chopsticks, and this is a fairly tough angle for teams to try and push in, especially if you've got a team already in there defending it.
Well, it's chucking a few grenades there. like I said, Mullins there with a few nades, trying to get a knock there, going prone, and the Whitey guys might be in trouble here. They are quite isolated, and they are bunched up there, DK.
I mean, always these bowls are quite interesting to see how the teams go to work with that. Of course, now a laser effort coming in from the side of the Young Thunder team as they focus all their attention just down that passageway into the side of the players from Ultra 6. But of course, as you can see now, the players from Ultra 6 are starting to move on up. That zone has shifted up once again, heading further north. So they now need to come up with a strategy, come up with a play as to how exactly they're going to try and get themselves out of this position. We also now see the players here from Black Jack moving in right behind them, just adding that extra level of complexity, that extra bit of pressure to this position.
Definitely the Young Thundercats in trouble here, but we do see, sorry, he's got his sights set on 6 links there, but Young Thundercats about to get owned here.
These hits though, just finding their way in. Oh man, sorry, and Reverb now just pushing in, finding quite a few hits, but also taking quite a bit of damage. But now also the players there from Ultra 6 just positioned down towards the south of them. Also now need to still figure out how they are going to try and rotate in. Things are heating up on the side there, Everest. Things are heating up on the side of Ruins. As we can see, still so many teams in the vicinity. 13 teams spread out throughout the zone, and it is only 800 meters across. So firstly, there's not going to be a lot of space for these teams to try and move into. But of course, we can see the players from Akatsuki already applying that pressure once again onto the side of the Glue Esports team.
Yeah, and we also Gorilla Glue still has that mountain. We've got Schizo currently knocked for SG, but the zone shift just favoring Everest each and every time. And we've got the 2 G3 squads on the eastern side fighting each other now, and this is going to be interesting, DK. Who's going to walk away with the victory?
I can tell you it is going to be so difficult to point that out at the current time, as there's so many teams that sit in a really strong position that could potentially be quite favorable as we make our way through these phases, through these zones. But of course, now looking at the players here from Spaza 6, you can see them still trying to push in onto the players from Gorilla Glue. We have a few utils now getting sent up as well, but unfortunately, Gorilla Glue is just a little bit too far out of reach for them. But over towards the eastern side, we see Akatsuki also now making their own way in. So Glue might actually get caught in quite a tough sandwich here.
We do have Lobster. He's trying to push up this mountain towards Gorilla Glue, and Gorilla Glue in trouble. We also have there from the northern side of the mountain, we have a Toxic player coming in, as well as when the zone shifts, and still yet again a lot of that mountain in play, and Rilla just got themselves an excellent position. We do have Cheddar got naded there by 6 God, it seems to me, and Black Jack Esports about to go down against G3 Temper.
Man, things really heating up as we were hoping for. The fights are starting to go down. Let's jump over towards this far eastern side now to see. We got the players here, of course, from G3 Tempered, as you mentioned, and the players there from Blackjack rather, now getting those rotations done. But now the teams are pushing in. Nibble right there to welcome them into the edge of the zone. Akatsuki also not too far away. So many teams still in contention here for these kills. As you can see also now as we jump over to Sunny. Sunny is still alive, managing it to just outlast these teams as we make our way through the zone. But of course, Everest is also still where the fights are happening. But looking down south now, we got the players here moving in Ultra 6, applying that pressure on towards the Honored Souls. So this could maybe be the point where either Ultra 6 get the squad wipe, or even the players there from the Honored Souls maybe get that squad wipe as well. But oh, Mullins now coming under the fire. Lynx trying to push in. Up he comes, rushing into the edge. Will he be able to pull this one off? As we see the Honored Souls now making their way on through. The shots come in. Lynx finds the one. One player now stands between Lynx and that wipe. Oh! And down he goes.
excellent work there from the Souls team, getting the wipe there, but losing 3 players with that. So we only have Clutch left. And will he be able to clutch it out? I doubt it. He's going to have to move up towards Gun. If not Gun, he's going to move towards Black Jack Esports. And you definitely don't want to get close to that mountain at this time of the game.
Definitely, it's going to be quite tough and challenging. As you can see, this eastern side of the zone is looking so tough. We got Nibble here, we got G3 here, we've got the players from Black Jack here, but also the northern side looking pretty tough. But now Nibble coming under fire as the players here from G3 Temper starts pushing on in. Nibble, of course, now down to Sidon and Pyro as they now try to hold up the fort as that zone once again shifts back over in towards the north.
Oh, and the mountain just keeps being in play. Bowden in a hell of a fight there. G3 Temple walking away there with the squad wipe, so they're doing good. But now we still have Cheddar and Black Jack Esports just down to the southeastern side there, and they just gonna wait to pick off some kills.
Oh man, so many of these teams just waiting for that opportunity, waiting for that opening, that moment of weakness where one of the teams maybe just lets it slip just a little slight bit. But of course, we've got Sunny here from the Euphoric Gods now making his approach, coming in from this northern part of that Everest mountain. But the shots now still just erupting on top of the hill as we jump over towards the players here from Spaza 6. You can see down below they're fighting things out with the players from Gun. So many hits, so many shots still flying all over the place. But Romeo now quickly trying to send those utils over into the side of Gun, hoping it finds the spot. But so far it doesn't seem like it has found the spot just yet. We're still sitting on 8 teams. The northern reaches of this map is just looking absolutely insane.
The final 2 players for Spaza 6 quite spread out here as Romeo takes a bit of more damage there from one of the teams up the mountain. He's in a very dangerous position here as Zeke takes out Pounds there, and Gun seems to be in a world of trouble as we've got the last player from Souls also rotating into zone now. He's going straight past Gun, and what Six God and G3 Temple also taking out Akatsuki there.
I mean, so many hits just all over the place. You can see Aimbot now coming in with the shots into the side there of the players from BJE. But of course, now Buden finding those beautiful finishing blows, wrapping it up there for them. But of course, now G3 sitting on 2. We got Flacco and Buden still remaining, trying to find those angles onto the side of Akatsuki, who are positioned really beautifully up in towards the north. But of course, it's going to be a pretty tough angle for them to defend as we still have 5 teams remaining, 12 players in this match. And with that, we see the final player there from Spaza 6 getting eliminated. 4 teams remain. That, of course, being the side of Akatsuki, who has now just suffered quite a bit of damage at the hand there of G3. Tempered also still in the play. You can see Gun now just getting hit, and also the players there from Gorilla Glue still trying to find that angle, but the hits coming up. Akatsuki still exchanging a few shots between themselves and G3. Will this be the final play for Zetsu as Flacco just comes rushing over the top of that ridge line? So many more hits just flying in, and this is going to be so tough, but also absolutely essential for these teams.
So we do have Buden currently knocked out. Ghana going for the rest, but we still have the guys from Akatsuki. They've got the off angle there on top. Six God is just a bit gatekeeping them, making sure that they don't thirst Buden, and the rest of the teams definitely Gun and Rilla. Rilla did excellent this time around. GK holding that mountain, and the prediction of the zone was just flawless.
Some crazy positionings that we see from these teams, but of course, Akatsuki not out of the woods just yet. trying to send those mollies down over towards G3. Aimbot now, of course, getting caught out in the blue zone. Down he goes. That is the end of Gun for this match. But of course, now Rila getting caught in the crosshairs there of Gunner. But a beautiful quick retaliation in towards them. A strip just gets the knock and the confirm almost immediately. Buden now trying to make his push up as well. Finds that shot in towards Strip. The rest of the squad now trying to move on in. The attention now getting turned into the side of Akatsuki. But 6 gets knocked. Buden now trying to step up quickly, trying to recover an extra little bit of health. We got 6 players remaining. 1 player knocked on either side. But of course, Rila, the first team to get that res back up and going. So now it is purely a numbers game. Of course, now waiting to see whether or not these positions will turn in favor of the teams.
Definitely problems here for G3 Temper. They've got their backs against the wall, or the blue wall, as we'd say, as well as Akatsuki. They in trouble. 6 gets confirmed there by Zeke, and it's down to Bowden, Rilla, Ro, Zeke, Bourne, and Zetsu. I don't know who's going to take it. Bowden seems to be just going to play out the zone here as Ro gets knocked out there by Zetsu. Bourne gets knocked in return, and Zeke takes out the hole. And there you have it. Bowden takes the victory, healing in the zone. Excellent capitalization of the knocks there between Akatsuki and Gorilla Glue Esports.
I mean, absolutely insane finish to that match. Of course, as you can see, the players there from G3 mentioning, you know, as you mentioned there, claiming such a beautiful chicken dinner and finishing it off on 15 kills. We got the players, of course, from Glue, the Gorilla Glue team, finishing in 2nd place, coming in with a very comfortable 11 kills. Then, of course, Akatsuki over in 3rd place on 3 kills. We got the Gun team finishing up in 4th. Finishing on 2 kills. We got the players then coming in. One of the SG teams. This is either Spaza 6 or the players from Divinity 6. Not quite sure which one, but here we are. Romeo and Co. finishing in 5th place. We got BJE finishing in 6th place on 6 kills. The Euphoric Gods finishing in 7th place on 7 kills. We got the players there from the Honored Souls finishing in 8th place. Of course, coming in on 4 kills. Then we got Nibble over in 9th place, also on 4 kills. The team from Toxic finishing in 10th place. We got the players there coming in then from Ultra 6 over in 11th place. Coming in with a really strong count though on, well, that is 8. Yeah, no, that's 10 kills. Well done. The players there also then from the G3 AAO team over in 12th place. We got our other SG team finishing in 13th place. Young Thunder in 14th with 1. The Scavengers finishing up in 15th place. The players coming in there from the VXR Esports team over in 16th place. Then, of course, MAG Vegeta finishing in 17th on a really decent 6 kills. And then, of course, the players from Yonkers finishing up in 18th place. So definitely a very interesting match that we've had between these players here today. So that was only the first one. Next up, of course, we're going to be moving in towards Miramar. So Fatman, what are you expecting to see on the Miramar map?
Well, I'd like to see Gun coming in with a full squad. First of all, I think they would have done much better if they were a full outfit. And then Miramar, it's a difficult map to play, and these guys play that map so well. We're gonna see G3 on the top 3, top 5 again, as well as Black Jack Esports. I know SG does very good on Miramar, and then Akatsuki surprising us with that 3rd place, doing excellent there. It's just gonna be insane, DK.
I definitely agree. It is definitely going to be super insane. But of course, we're going to be jumping into a quick break while we get that second match prepped and ready to go. So we'll see you guys back in a short few minutes. So stay tuned. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Of course, we're getting ready to move into our second match of the evening. And of course, with me, I have Mr. Fatman. How you doing?
Well, DK, let's hope this time around it goes better. I sorted out my things. I hope it's good now, and I'm ready to get into the action.
Of course, yeah, we're just waiting for this match to get underway so we can jump straight into some spicy Miramar action. But of course, well, we've seen a pretty strong performance coming in this previous match. And in fact, we did see, of course, also the players finishing in some strong angles. We got the players there from G3 Temper currently sitting right up at the top of the leaderboard with the players there from Glue Esports right behind them. So G3 Temper currently sitting on 30 points in total. We got Glue sitting on 23. Then, of course, the Akatsuki team sitting in third place on 13. Ultra 6 in fourth on 11. Then, of course, we got Gun sitting on 10 points in fifth place. And Black Jack Esports sitting in 6th, also then on 10 points. So it seems like things are getting pretty spicy, pretty close as we go through the games here today. But of course, this is the second one. We're about to jump in towards that Miramar map. Just waiting for that timer to run out so we can see what that flight path is going to be bringing us. So Fatman, what are you expecting to see on the Miramar map?
Well, DK, I think a lot of the first game was a lot of nerves for a lot of these players and these teams, and I definitely believe that coming to the second game, Miramar, it's gonna be way better. And the plane has lifted off. Gonna see if that top 6 teams stays in the top 6.
Of course, now this is going to be quite spicy as we got that flight path coming in there from Al Azhar over towards the eastern side, making its way right past El Pozo over towards the west. Still a slight northern flight path, nothing too crazy just yet, but of course, going to be seeing how the teams are going to be accommodating this flight path and how that, of course, then affects the drop spots that they like to frequent.
Well, I do think that most of the main drop areas would still be in play. I think the only thing that's going to be a bit hard to reach is more down south might be Los Leones, but I'm sure they can rotate with cars. And then most of these teams will be able to reach their normal drop spots. El Pozo is going to be interesting to see what's going on there. And then obviously Hacienda always busy. We do see G3 heading straight for Hacienda and Roller and his squad heading up there to the eastern side of water treatment, or south western side.
And we of course have 18 teams in the lobby, 70 players, and of course now as we get started with this match, we can see the players here from the Haunted Souls dropping down straight in towards Hacienda del Patron. A few teams also not dropping too far away, of course. The players there from G3 Temper pushing straight in towards San Martin, which is of course expected as we usually see them dropping in that position. But of course the rest of the teams all still making their way on through. And we have a nice convergence of teams over in towards El Pozo as well.
Well, we do have about 3 teams there in El Pozo. That seems to be the only place where we might find some early action. We've got the SG guys and then Euphoria as well as the MAGVG team. They did very good from the start there in Erangel. A bit later on, they ran out of luck, but MAGVG aimbot definitely doing good for his team for this game.
And some really tough competition coming in between the teams here. But of course, we got 3 teams positioned right here in El Pozo, so expecting quite a bit of a tough play to be in store for these teams as they all still try to make their way on through, trying to grab some additional loot before getting ready to push a little bit further down in towards the zone. But as we make our way now around what we see on this map, we've got a nice spread of teams throughout this northern region. So I'm curious as to whether or not we'll have any teams trying to push down in towards the south as that zone has shifted in towards the southwest.
DK, this zone's definitely going to cause a lot of trouble for a lot of teams. Currently, we only have about 4 teams in the play zone already. We're going to get a huge bottleneck towards the north and the northeastern side of the zone. So expect some early kills, but El Pozo might pop off any moment as well.
Oh, we saw a few shots now flying in towards Anger. So definitely seeing that that opening coming in there from the players of the Euphoric Gods as they tap off in to the side of Anger. But Anger now, of course, trying to make their way on through, or rather, Anger trying to make his way on through for the side here of Spaza 6. So strangely enough, we're not seeing a lot of aggression, even though we've got these three teams positioned so close together.
I think they just need to loot up, but as for the whole map overall, there won't be too much aggression. I think especially with a zone like this, you'll see a lot of these teams are going to opt for the very early rotation because they know that there is going to be a bottleneck for people trying to get into zone, and if the zone shifts even more south, it's going to be chaos. Shots flying now in El Pozo, things getting very interesting, yeah.
And of course the players here from the MAG Vegeta team, they just exploring their options, moving up compound to compound, building by building, creeping closer onto the side of the players here from the Euphoric Gods. But of course we see Hunter pushed up right on that top floor. He's waiting for any potential angles, and of course he spots one right onto the side there of Heatwave. Finds a beautiful shot, but Pikachu now just moving in, just peeking the side. And of course, if Pikachu is not careful, this could be the downfall of Pikachu as well.
I do believe Hunter can kick himself. He missed out there on the thirst, and Heatwave will live to fight another zone. Other than that, all good. We do have the SG team rotating around there to the southern side now, so Euphoric Gods might be in trouble here, getting surrounded by two very good teams.
Yeah, of course, now waiting to see just exactly how this will unfold. I mean, of course, as you mentioned, the players here from Spaza 6, they've heard the shots, they've now been drawn in. They're quite curious to see if they can maybe find a third-party angle onto either of these teams up ahead of them. So expecting to maybe see an interesting play coming there from these three teams, in fact, as everyone is now just inching their way up, trying to secure a decent angle.
And also up north we do have Yonkers, not doing too great in that first game, getting the very last position there. They are very close to Rila, to Gorilla Glue Esports, and I don't know, Yonkers needs to rectify their mistakes from the previous game. I would like to see them do better, and we've got Ro and Zeke rotating in there to La Cabrera, so this might get interesting as well.
Of course, we can see things now starting to heat up once again over in towards El Pozo, as these players are now finding their heads. I mean, Spaza sneaking up from the back end here, coming in onto the side of the players there from Euphoric, finding two knocks in already. Now, of course, they're looking to apply a little bit of more pressure just to find that squad wipe potentially onto the side of the players here from Euphoric Gods. But of course, now Euphoric Gods also trying to focus on the players we have just up ahead of them, that being the side there of the MAG Vegeta team. So definitely a tough sandwich that they could find themselves in very soon.
Oh, Euphoria in trouble here, as Psycho gets confirmed by Coco with that nade, and Psycho doing very good in the previous game.
Oh man, things are just tightening up across the board. Everyone not willing to expose themselves and give up those kills, give up those points. Everyone, of course, now being a little bit relentless in their efforts. Also being a little bit on the tough side there. But of course, now Hunter just succumbing to the injuries as he goes down. And the players now still continue to try and make their way on through. But I'm waiting for these teams to try and maybe get a plan as to how they're going to try and rotate out of El Pozo, because the zone is not inclusive of El Pozo, and they still need to start thinking of that as well.
Seems like MAGVG got themselves a vehicle now. They can think about that rotation as Coco takes some heat there from Sinister, but yet again Euphoria early game down to 2 players, which is not good for them at all. And then Spaza 6, they definitely know where Sinister is, and they are pushing hard to get this kill.
Those nades now getting sent up as well, right on to the side. But Sinister now just trying to find a good spot to hide in before the rest of the squad moves in. He still has Pablo to rely on for that additional bit of supportive cover. But of course now you can see Sinister quickly just pushing up onto the roof. The shots are finding their way on in as the players there from Sparza apply the pressure. Beautiful shot into the side of Coco now. But Anger and the rest of the team there from Sparza still pushing up. But of course, down they go. Sinister gets knocked. It is now up to Pablo. Will he be able to pull this one off? Will he be able to make a secure play from this? Tries to find the angle, but down they go. Sparza just finding the heads in it towards the players there from Euphoric Gods.
Sparza 6 doing very, very good. And then up to the northwestern corner, we still have Toxic Esports. They're there in the blue zone, as well as Yonkers. They've got a long way to travel. We do see that MAGVG already made it to zone. And Rila, they had one massive rotation, and they're going to Valdemar, it seems.
A lot of interesting rotations coming in from the teams here, but of course now as we jump up to the side here of Akatsuki, you can see them over on that western side of the zone, trying to find a good entry point as well, as they are just on the edge, in and out of that zone. But we also see the players now coming up here, this being the players, of course, from the VXR Esports team, trying to find an angle, trying to find a way in. And so far it seems like they're going to try and stick to the southern coastline, and if they continue on this route they can actually find a very, very decent rotation in towards the zone, which could be really beneficial to them in the next few coming phases.
The next phase, Sweep moves down and shifts down south. They'll definitely be having an advantage there, and the players up north still in Vegata have Black Jack Esports sitting comfortably there, and then G3 Temper a bit in the open there. Nibble Esports just a bit up north on the horizon in a very wide 2-2 split. But Minas de Valdemar, I think, DK, that's where the action's gonna be.
Oh yeah, things are definitely looking like it could get pretty hairy right down here. As you mentioned, the players from Rila positioned right over here, as well as the players there from G3 AAO. What does the AAO stand for? Do you know?
Against all odds.
Oh.
And they're definitely against a lot of odds this time around. So I really hope they do good, and it's a good learning curve for teams like that, new teams and players that want to get into the bigger scrims and the bigger leagues and tournaments. So I really hope they do good and they learn from whatever happens here tonight. So far they're finding themselves in a very good position. They do have zone, they do have quite a big compound there, but they've got Gorilla Glue Esports just up north from them, and Gorilla Glue, they're coming for them. Very dangerous squad.
Yeah, well, a lot of potential plays can still come from the zone as we now wait for this blue zone to close on up to see where the teams are going to try push in for that next phase. And of course the players here from Yonkers making their rotation in, a little bit of a late rotation in towards the zone, but also just on the outskirts there of Monte Nuevo. The players from Sparza 6 are still in the blue zone. Not a crazy quick rotation coming in from them, but of course as we jump through the teams to see where the next point of contention is going to be coming from, we can of course look over towards the side there of the players from G3 Temper, positioned over in towards that northeastern side of the zone. Nibble of course right up ahead of them as we hear those shots now already find their way on through, trying to land on towards Vindog and the rest of the crew there from the Nibbles team.
Got that N4 and the 3-time spray, and he's dangerous with that. Ronnie getting shot at now, but none of the shots connecting. So unfortunately I do think that's a bit far to shoot, and now Nibble will just continue their rotation. I doubt they will stop and fight this fight. Vindog, he did stop, but I do think he's just going for another form of transportation.
Of course, now maybe just jumping at the opportunity to catch their breath before they continue upwards and onwards. But 17 teams still remain, 66 players alive. As we now jump over towards the players here from Divinity 6, you can see them just also still going through some of the compounds, trying to grab some additional loot, which they might need in the coming phases. Also see the gun team here making their way through almost in that central portion of the zone, but of course just hanging back a little bit. No Braino now, on the other hand, moving up, rotating very close to the Honored Souls as a few shots find their way in towards the vehicle, which of course now has started to smoke on up, and this could be quite interesting, especially if Braino is going to try and use that vehicle once again.
Yeah, he's going to be in a world of trouble. We do have a gun to the southeast of his position, and then Honored Souls there northwest. So he's pretty much sandwiched, and he's going to need his team, the rest of 6 Gaming, to come and assist here pretty soon. We do have 6 links there on the other side of gun, so might be possible for Braino to get out of there. We've got Aimbot. He's currently fighting with Divinity 6 to the southern eastern portion, and he gets a knock there on Berry Licious. Excellent work. So gun fighting 3 different directions here, DK.
And of course, this could be quite challenging, but so far they're holding up very strongly against these teams, not being able to get any of those confirms in just yet. But of course, now speaking about confirms, we see the players here from Young Thunder now striking down on the side of Akatsuki. And this, of course, could be quite interesting, as we have Superior right on the top of that ridge line, just waiting to see where the players, of course, from Akatsuki will try and move on into. So some interesting plays could definitely come from this, as we see Akatsuki now just starting to regroup and getting ready for whatever approach they have to make their way in towards this next phase.
Akatsuki is definitely going to go with the rotation here, and I don't want Adonis or Superior on a hill that I need to rotate around. No, both of these players are excellent players, and Akatsuki opted for the compound there to the southern portion of this zone. They still have zone. The zone will be shifting pretty soon, so they are gonna gamble. Vile taking out Romeo there in the kill feed, and Black Jack Esports now
All right, so here we go.
Reverb. Sorry, DK. We do have Reverb knocked currently, but he got raised as well as Romeo will get raised. Small compound to fight here. Black Jack Esports versus Spaza. 6 MG down there in the middle, and he will definitely be hoping he calls the right shots here. And will Black Jack Esports prevail?
I mean, we've been seeing so many hits come in, and now the players here from Spaza trying to apply that pressure on to the side of Black Jack. You can see MG, Vile, Reverb just spreading out, trying to cover as much ground as they can to potentially find an opening into the side of Spaza. But of course, Spaza is making it so difficult for them, as we have that barrage of shots now flying in. Absolutely insane. All these utilities getting sent on over, and of course now testing the discipline on the side here of MG as they send a smoke up, trying to get him to flinch. But fortunately, he held strong on to that front, and now, of course, starting to send his own utilities in return up on towards the players here from Spaza. Of course, a few more hits that we saw in the kill feed coming in, as well as the players there from Gun were starting to take a little bit of damage. But here we go now. Anger taking aim over on towards Reverb, who quickly ducks out of the warehouse, just moving back in towards some hard cover. But of course, Coco and Romeo, as well as Anger, they're also still just holding up on this front line, keeping the pressure there, keeping it constant.
Also, we do have one player from Spaza 6, Schizo. He came in with a huge rotation, trying to flank Reverb, but Reverb did realize that, and he's moving closer to the rest of his team. And now Schizo is just going to have to come and return. Coco very low on the HP as Romeo gets the knock and almost confirms a Reverb there. Vile's going to have to jump for that revive, otherwise they will lose a player. And in the nick of time, he does get the raise down on Reverb. Excellent work, and Coco gets knocked by MG. Anger is coming in with a rotation, and Anger gets MG down. Will he go for the confirm? Trying trying to get the confirm as Coco almost gets rest. Vile, he's trying to push closer. This is dangerous for him. Schizo out in the open. Reverb coming in with a flank, and MG gets confirmed there with a nade from Reverb. Unfortunately, Black Jack Esports in a world of trouble here. Spars are 6 doing excellent. Coco still knocked. Reverb coming in with, and Reverb gets the knock on Danger, and Romeo trying to get to Reverb here. And this is just insane, DK. What a fight. Vile goes down, and it's Reverb versus Romeo. Who's gonna clutch it out? 1v1. And Romeo steps away there. I can't even imagine how that guy's feeling now. That was quite an intense fight. But YT and Akatsuki also still busy in the kill feed there. Down south, TK Born currently knocked. Lobster, last man standing for Akatsuki, but goes down to the young Thundercat, and they walk away with the wipe there. Down to 3 players, but they are victorious in that little war they fought.
Well played there to the players from Young Thunder, and of course Akatsuki, as you mentioned, getting taken out. But now we jump into the red zone right here on the side of Nibble, who's of course now trying to hold their very own with that onslaught of the players there from G3 Temper now coming in from the north. Flacco, of course, right there out on the front line. Vindor quickly recovering some health before taking on the rest of this fight. But I'm really liking this angle that we see here for Flacco, just perched up behind the boulder. Really good position. We can gather quite a bit of information. But of course, now we wait to see whether or not they're going to try and strike, apply the pressure on towards Nibble, or they're just going to play it safe for now.
Well, Jika, I think that Noble's got their own little strategy going here as well, with Pyro being up there southeast on that high mountain, and Six God, he's definitely in Pyro's sights if he peeks that reach there. Flacco, Gunnar taking a couple of shots there from Pyro, so, and Bowden also almost getting taken out there. So Pyro in a very good position, and obviously he's calling the shots to Side and Vindog as well as Ronnie. And I don't think Flacco can do too much currently from that position he's in now.
That is a bit of a challenging spot to be in, but of course, as we see, the kill feed is bringing in some more heads. We've got so many teams now all starting to push in from those southern reaches. Of course, now a few heads making their way on through over towards the players there from the team here. G3AAO against all odds. Now just trying to get the shots into the side of the Scavengers. Of course, now Aspect did step on up with that AWAM, finding the shots in. Ryder now getting hit, but of course also sending one down as well. The team's definitely battling it out on the edge, and of course Rampage finds a beautiful head in with the M24 in towards the side of Sphinx there. But now, will they continue? Will they start applying that pressure? Or are they just going to try and keep their distance? Of course, we'll find out in the kill feed as we now jump over towards the players here from the VXR team, as they also now try to make their way still into zone. Blue zone, of course, getting or catching up with a few of these players.
Currently, we have Ice knocked Rilla Roller in the sides of Vipex, and the blue zone just unforgiving. Row and Ice currently knocked in the blue. They won't be raised, I believe. Oh, and Row did get raised there. Okay.
But of course, now looking at this map, you can see so many hits coming in. All these fighting points starting to light on up. Now we quickly jump over towards the place here from Divinity 6 coming in right behind Ultra 6. So a few utilities now getting sent on over. You can see the players there from Nibble still exchanging a few shots. Rilla actually finding that confirm on towards Ice as the players from the Scavengers continue their efforts onto the side of the Young Thundercats. Of course, those confirmations coming in the kill feed. But of course, now you can see Berrylicious getting knocked on out. Cyrus Virus quickly trying to make a play, just going around to get out of there as the shots start flying on in. But of course, Swirly also just on the opposite end, but now a really nice rotation or a nice escape coming in there from Cyrus. But also we see now the players from Rila coming in right behind them. So they might be out of the pressure cooker for now, but they're not out of danger just yet. As we can see, that wave of Rila players just pushing in, pulling up right there alongside them. Zeke now just flying up a hill. Down goes Barry once again. Swirly now trying to escape. And of course, we see Cyrus trying to tap off a quick few shots. But of course, the kill feed is lighting up now with the players there from G3. Temba exchanging shots with Nibble. But of course, now let's see whether or not Cyrus will be able to get this angle onto the side of the players there from Rila as they continue to push on in. Oh, Cyrus almost succumbing to the shots.
Oh, Cyrus in a very dangerous position here. Barry Leash is already knocked, Swirly knocked currently, and this Rila Roller and his squad, they definitely coming in hard and coming in fast. Cyrus gets knocked out there by Trip, and I think it's done for Divinity 6.
Oh, let's see who will be able to get it. Come on. Oh, down they go. Swirly and Co. swirling their way back in towards that lobby. That, of course, being the end of the players there from Divinity 6. But now we see the players here from Gorilla Glue making their push in towards the zone. Of course, quite a few fights that we've been seeing coming into that kill feed. But of course, now as we jump into the southern side of the zone, we see the players here from VXR positioned in the compounds. We also have the players now from, I believe that is Ultra 6, just south of their position. So many more teams trying to squeeze on in, but of course the players here from Toxic now coming under fire as well. That zone shifting further down in towards the south. An absolute chaotic zone and now erupting as we still have 10 players alive, 33 players in this match. And the players here from Ultra 6 just feeling the pressure.
Ultra 6 in a world of trouble. They're being gate kept here. Already lost one player down. They're down to 3, and the guys from Rez just seems to be unstoppable.
Oh. The shots coming in. Down goes Yonkers as well. The shots there from the Haunted Souls. The Honored Souls, rather, finding their way on over. I knew it was Soul something with the H, and of course, well, eventually found it. But of course, you can see now the side of Nibble. They're still continuing their fight. Coco getting a hit in towards Ronnie. Side, and now the last remaining players tries to get the shot in towards Schizo. Also tries to get the confirm on towards Romeo. But Coco and Anger now just trying to set up that defensive line as they know someone is trying to move in on to top of them. But here we go. Sidon trying to make the play. Coco, Anger, they are locked and ready. Will we see the fight end here for Nibble? Yes, we do. Anger comes in with that Mach 14. Just absolutely brutal play. And of course, as we know, that Mach 14 is not something to mess with.
Definitely not, as we have the Souls team currently fighting SCV there, and SCV being gate kept. We have lost Black Jack Esports. We have lost G3 Temper to Nibble. And Nibble has been lost in the meantime as well. 7 teams remaining, 23 players. That's going to be a cracker. Rila still in the top. I do think they will still do good this time around.
Oh, man, just look at the zone. Moving up once again, the Scavengers, of course, not just scavenging for whatever they can find as they try to now catch up to the blue zone. But right up ahead of them, we've got the rest of the remaining lobbies. Zulu now getting hit as he tries to cross the street. The rule always is look both ways. Zulu not, of course, paying too much attention to that and pays the ultimate price. Gets knocked out in the blue zone. We got Rampage just right there behind them. Also still trying to make their way on up. But the players here from the Honored Souls are just causing absolute havoc. But now, Ryder, the last remaining player for the team of the Scavengers, gets taken out as he tries to blow up the vehicle. Not quite sure why though, but it is what it is.
Rules are rules, as we always say. So 6 Gaming still being gate kept here. Difficult position for them. The zone has shifted to basically the center of the last zone. No team in zone. We do have the Toxic guys in the last on the eastern side. North, we do have the SG, Spaza 6, they are there, and then the Souls team My money is on them this time around, DK.
Well, we'll find out soon enough whether or not your money is safe with them. But here we go now. Mojo getting hit. We got the no-brainer and Link still left for the players here from Ultra 6. But of course, those shots coming in from Toxic way off in the distance. The players here from the VXR team also trying to hold up their defensive line, but they need to make a call. They need to get into zone as the zone has just shifted slightly north of their position. The 6 final teams now left to battle it out, and Zodiac steps up. The stars align, and he finds their head into the side there of No Brainer. Lynx, of course, now still trying to find a secure position to try and pull off that res. The players here from VXR now making their push up in towards zone, but J Roller now stopping them in their tracks, finding head after head into the side of them. Zeke now getting knocked out as well. Trip also now just trying to apply the extra level of cover there as all these teams are now getting forced out into this open field, and there's almost no cover even to make mention of.
And Toxic Trip is pushing into zones, got the Toxic teams on his left, but he gets third party from the side, and he gets confirmed. And we only have Roller left, but just as I said, that Roller gets taken out again. We are down to 5 teams and virtually no cover whatsoever, except a ditch here or there or a bush here and there. The Souls team in a very good position. They've got most or zone favoring them more than the other 2 teams, and then SG doing good as well this time around. Res, they've got a bit of cover throwing out the smokes, but we do have a 2v3v4, and it's going to be interesting. Schizo taking that car, rotating towards zone, getting very dangerously close there to Bucky, firing in the smoke in the open. Oh, Schizo. Excellent work. 1 HP, gets the knock. Still has Bucky very close to him, and Bucky will definitely, if he stands up, he will get this knock here. And gets the knock. Trying to get the confirm, but he will be shot from the other 2 players, Anger and Coco, pushing over the hill, trying to get they confirm. They do get the confirms on that player there. Now it's a matter of, will they be quick enough to get the race?
It's going to be a really, really close one, of course. Now you can see Coco getting knocked out in the process. Anger manages to find a position right onto the side of Schizo, really just in the nick of time. Schizo so low on health, but of course now they need to try and recover that health as we see Coco succumbing rather to the damage from the blue zone. Now this is a 2v4. It is the players here from Sparza 6 up against the Honored Souls, who will still have a full squad up and loaded. And of course that zone shifting up in favor of the Honored Souls. So it's going to be quite the challenge here for the players from Sparza to make the crossing and find a decent position in the zone. But of course now only a few seconds remain. Only 35 seconds before that zone moves on up. Will that be enough time though for the players here from Sparza to make a decent play? Anger steps up with that Mark 14, finds the shot straight in towards Ghost. Of course now Zodiac right there behind him could potentially pull off that race, but of course now we see Schizo turning his attention elsewhere. In the exchange though, he gets knocked out. This could be a very interesting play. Of course, now Clutch moves up. Anger finds the shot. It is now still a 1v3, potentially a 1v2. But of course, can they find that res? And it seems like Dark Soul has just been raced back up. The blue zone is starting to close on in. They make a play. Down goes Zodiac. Anger now trying to come on in, but the blue zone is just too much to handle. And of course, the players there from the Honored Souls steal that chicken dinner from the hands of Sparza 6. What a play and what a finish that was.
Definitely excellent work there. Seeing different teams up there doing excellent. Soul or Honored Souls, not Hunted Souls, doing good. Getting the chicken dinner there, and with no less than 8 kills. Excellent work. Sparza Gaming, they're gonna feel they were robbed. They got a whopping amount of kills, 16 kills, and then correct me if I'm wrong, it is Resurrection Esports in third place with 3 kills, DK.
Yep, that of course being the players there from the VXR Esports team that we see over in third on 3 kills. But then of course, as we move on down, we've got the players coming in there from Ultra 6 over in 4th place on 5 kills. We've got the players from Toxic over in 5th place. The team there from Gorilla Glue Esports over in 6th place. Finishing off pretty strongly though on, well, that seems to be 7 kills. Then, of course, we've got the Scavengers finishing up in 7th place on 9 kills. The players from Nibble over in 8th place on 4. We got Yonkers taking 9th place. We got the players then coming in there from G3 against all odds, I believe that is, over in 10th place with 1. We got the players there coming in from Divinity 6 over in 11th place. We got the players there from G3 Tampa then in 12th place on 1 kill. We got the Young Thunder team over in 13th on 4 kills. Akatsuki over in 14th place. We got Black Jack finishing in 15th. We got the MAG Vegeta team over in 16th place with 1. Then, of course, Gun finishing off in 17th place. And the players from the Euphoric Gods finishing up in 18th place. So this has been a really tough match for these teams. But, of course, that was only the second game. We've got 2 more to come. So next up, of course, we're going to be heading over in towards Sanhok to see what the teams are going to be doing in those lovely green pastures. So, Fatman, what are you expecting to see over in on the Sanhok map? Your audio just went boop.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry, man. Now, what I was saying is that I believe that Sanhok is probably one of the most hated maps. And when you have a lobby like this with the type of players that's playing in this lobby, I'd rather do anything else than play Sanhok. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see a lot of third parties. It is third party village or third party country and snakes. We're going to see some snakes as well, DK. So it's going to be interesting. I like seeing different teams coming to the top of the placements, and it just makes for so much more interesting games as we go along. 2 games to go, and it's still anybody's race to win.
Yeah, indeed it is. But of course, on that note, we're going to be jumping into a quick break. But before we do that, Fatman, again, tell us a little bit more about MAG and the MAG Invitational.
Yeah, guys, please remember to go and like and subscribe MAG's Mobile Arena Gaming's YouTube page. Keep keep your eye on the socials for excellent deals on their good devices that they have, as well as tournaments like this. We will be hosting these tournaments on a more regular basis. But basically, MAG, they've got the device for you, whether it's a Black Shark 4 or a Red Magic 6. They will sort you out. The best gaming smartphones available in South Africa right now, and you will definitely not be disappointed if you do get yourself one of those devices. So obviously MAG, the sponsor of tonight's tournament, and excellent team they have going there as well.
Well, there you go. There you have it. And of course, well, be sure to check them out. The links all down in the description if you were curious. But of course, we're going to be heading into a quick break, and we'll see you guys right back after a short few minutes. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Here we are getting ready to move into our next match. The next one up, of course, being right over on that Sanhok map. So expecting to see some interesting plays coming in from this team. And of course, now, Fatman, we've been watching these teams going at it over the past few matches, right? What are you expecting to see in our third match of the game, of the day?
Well, DK, with it being Sanhok, it's going to be pandemonium right across the board. It's a smaller map, much smaller than Miramar or Erangel. The teams are going to drop very closer to each other. So I'm expecting some early battles and a lot less teams towards the end of the game. So these bigger teams, they're going to have to pull out all the stops because we know it's going to be busy. We do have quite a full lobby, and I can't wait for it to get started. We're just waiting for the plane to take off. Guys, remember to go and like and subscribe to Mobile Arena Gaming's YouTube page as well as Facebook. All the links in the description. And DK, I think it's almost time for you to take us away.
Yes, sir. It is very, very close to that time. But of course, we're also running a hoodie giveaway. You'll see some of the details being posted in the chat, so keep a watchful eye on that. Of course, they should be making their way through momentarily. But, well, we're going to be jumping into our flight path to see what we have and, of course, what these teams have to work with. And as you can see right off the bat there, the flight path is coming in from the north, making its way all the way down over towards Bantai, down in those far southern reaches. But, of course, as we know on Sanhok, the flight path doesn't matter too much as it is such a small map, and the teams are pretty capable of dropping down almost anywhere they would like to go.
Definitely true, and all these hot drops, all their preferred spots will definitely be in reach. And we, like I said, we're going to see a lot of teams jumping on top of each other. Just for example, we already have two teams going to Camp Bravo and two teams in Paradise Resort Bootcamp, very busy, and then Hudson all the way down to the western side, southern side, also quite busy early on.
And of course now expecting quite a bit of action to come in as we see, man, these hot drops for a change actually becoming a hot drop. So we've got the players, of course, over in towards Camp Bravo there. You got the Young Thunder team as well as the players there from Spaza 6 dropping in towards Bravo. But now as we jump in towards Paradise, we see the players here from G3 Temper right alongside the players from Nibble, and things are already starting to heat up quite early in this match.
Oh, would you have Temper and Nibble both dropping in Paradise Resort? Gunner and Flaco coming in with a flank. We do have Ronnie knocked, but Sidon is getting the res on him. And then Bowden and Six got on the off angle as well as Ronnie takes a couple of few shots, but Gunner gets knocked. Luckily, Flaco is there for the res. Nibble won't push here. Flaco needs to get the res going, and Ronnie, he's down and out as Pyro gets knocked and Vindok gets knocked, and this is where Temper is going to go for the push. Look at Bowden and Flaco, Six God coming in aggressively. Sidon in trouble. Bowden gets the confirm, and Noble is out of it. And DK, that's the early fights we were looking for.
Yeah, a really strong, dominant start there. But of course, now we quickly jump over towards Camp Bravo to see what's going to happen between the side of the Young Thunder team and, of course, the players there from Spaza 6 just up ahead of them. But we also now see some of those G3 teams getting hit in the kill feed as the players there from VXR are now starting to strike in towards them. But of course, well, we still have the team over here, the Young Thunder guys, keeping up that angle. Oh, Anger now coming up with a bit of a strafe there. Coco getting knocked out. Anger now seems to be trying to move in to get that position on them. And of course, Romeo still there to provide that additional bit of support. But here we go. Anger now pushing up. Romeo popping in through the window, trying to come in with that off-angle approach. But of course, it is going to be so difficult as we see Romeo now just trying to find a quick bit of pre-fire onto that angle. But the hits are coming in the kill feed as well now.
Yeah, the kill feed's busy. We do have Vile from Black Jack Esports taking out, I do believe that was Heatwave getting the knock on him. But currently, Coco got rest there, and Romeo coming in there with a Dixie flank. It's going to be on that wall. The Whitey boys are in trouble. 2v3. Buxy, Illusion versus Coco, Anger, and Romeo. And Vile, he's just making life difficult for that VG team, DK.
Indeed, they are. You can see, of course, that kill feed still just going absolutely ham. But now, Young Thunder trying to hold up this front against the players here from Spaza, rather. As you can see, Illusion now taking a little bit of damage, quickly trying to recover some health. We got Buxy now, of course, on the opposite end, trying to keep at that angle. But, I mean, Spaza really playing this one phenomenally well as they make their way on through. But, of course, Ultra 6 and Scavengers exchanging a few shots in the kill feed. Oh, Coco strikes into the side there of Buxy. Illusion now steps up, finds a quick shot in towards Anger. But, of course, now here comes Coco up with those shots. And we see Romeo flanking up as well. Coco jumps on in, gets taken down by Illusion. And now everything is riding on Romeo. Romeo, wherefore art thou? Up he comes once again, trying to push on in. But of course, Illusion trying to get that angle on towards Buxy, so could potentially get that res going. Romeo, however, also now pushing in for the res. This is where things get pretty tight, pretty spicy. Illusion now striking on towards Romeo. Anger steps up and finds the hit. Down goes Illusion.
That was excellent work there from Anger and Coco. Coco going in as the bait, and Anger just waiting there with the off Anger and gets the confirm on the Young Thundercats.
Man, oh man, that ding was right on time. And we just heard as these players, of course, now prep themselves up for the next wave. We got the MAG Vegeta team. Oh, bringing MG down so low on health. But of course, Aimbot is still in play. It is not over just yet. And of course, we're going to see Aimbot trying to push on in as we see Pikachu now just getting confirmed. Bade still just bleeding out. And the players here from Black Jack making their way on through. Oh, steps out. And of course, Aimbot takes quite a bit of damage. But up they come. Vile and Co. seals the deal. And off goes the players there from the MAG Vegeta team. But of course, the fights have not stopped just yet as we jump over to the side of Toxic up in that northwestern side as they try to find a few more shots just down below over towards the Honored Souls.
We haven't seen much from Toxic Esports in the previous two games, DK, but we did see Honored Souls making havoc there in game 2, going and getting the chicken dinner. Will they be able to do the same this time around? I'm not sure. Doesn't seem like Toxic is interested in taking a fight here, and they are just gonna try and rotate away. But DK, they don't have zone. The zone's gonna shift, and they're gonna have to fight eventually. They can't keep on avoiding these fights.
100% agree with that. They need to get in if they want those points. But of course, now we wait to see where the remainder of the lobby is going to be going. Will we see them push a little bit further in towards that zone as the next phase, of course, is down in the south? We're waiting for the blue zone to close up to see exactly where the next zone is going to be taking us. But of course, a few teams already starting to rotate up in anticipation of that zone shift. And maybe it could be an aggressive one down to the south once again.
We are going to have the guys from Scavengers as well as Coco, Anger, and Romeo that's outside of zone. They're going to need, if the zone shifts down south, they're going to be in a world of trouble. They're going to have to cross the bridges. And there you have it. The zone shifts down south, and it favors Akatsuki as well as Divinity 6 and Gorilla Glue Esports. They in zone as well down south. They've got the water to their back, so I do believe they're in a very good position.
Yeah, of course, not exactly a botation, but of course the players from Toxic coming in with that botation, trying to get a good position. But now we still see the players from the Scavengers just scavenging around there just south of Hatin, waiting to see where they're going to try and push up on into. But of course, now so many teams still making their way on in. But Akatsuki taking up a really good position within the zone. They got a nice central angle. And of course, they have occupation of these compounds. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the teams are going to move in. And of course, where those teams are going to try and locate themselves.
Well,
most of these teams are just going to wait for the zone to shift now, especially with Sanok. The zone shifts are brutal, GK, and it can make or break your game. So we do have up north, we do have Black Jack Esports and G3 Temper. So that might be problems for the guys rotating from up north. Scavengers, they're going to come in with a very late rotation. We do have a drop between Black Jack Esports and G3, so that might bring us some action as well. Guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
Indeed, we shall see in due course, of course. Now, the Scavengers slowly making their way up in towards the zone. But of course, also the players here from the VXR Esports making their way over on that eastern side of the river. Akatsuki just up ahead. And it's going to be interesting to see just what the players here are going to be doing. I mean, will we see the players here from VXR get a bit aggressive onto the side of Akatsuki? Or are they just going to try and sit around and wait to see where the rest of the teams try to rotate into?
I do think most of these teams, like I said, they're going to wait for the zone to shift. And Gorilla Glue Esports, like I said, in a good position. They can just move up north. Camp Charlie completely open for them if they need to move up north with the next zone shift or the next phase. And then VXR, I think they're in a good position as well. And then the third parties, it's just going to be insane. We do have Divinity 6 north of Akatsuki, as well as God Euphoria to the left, to the western side of Akatsuki. So third parties, people, the clan, after the teams need to capitalize on those third parties.
And of course, well, we're expecting to see those third parties come in. This is Sanok. This is one of those third party heavy matches, and of course also quite snake heavy. So it's going to be interesting to see definitely where these teams go. As you can see Zodiac now jumping into the tuk-tuk there, getting ready to cruise up at light speed. Whoa, that was a beautiful move. I mean, traveling all that way in a vehicle just to get into zone. I mean, that was in style, I have to say. I mean, Zodiac, that was phenomenal stuff. But of course, now we look back to the center of the zone. The players there from the Euphoric Gods now making their way on through. The Akatsuki team also just lying in wait, starting to spread themselves out a little bit. Lobster looking a bit out of place. I mean, the river is up to the north, but either way, I mean, we'll see the Lobster where you see the Lobster. And that, of course, is right here in the bush.
Well, the zone's about to close, DK, and it shifts in favor of most of these teams, and we're gonna have Spaza 6, Black Jack Esports, and G3. They will need to cross that river, but we do have Akatsuki in a fight here. Lobster gets the knock there on Sinister.
Oh, I mean, Lobster now just bouncing on the players there from the Euphoric Gods, finding those hits. I mean, just snapping away at the heels of them. Borny now getting knocked out as well, but down goes Lobster, getting caught out in the open. Zetsu now just trying to flank around, trying to come up from the northern side, potentially wrapping around the players there from the Euphoric Gods. It is going to be quite a bit of a challenge there for them. As you can see, 3 teams remain, and Zetsu now is the last remaining player. See Mighty Guy and Lobster both now just slowly bleeding out. And it is going to be a really tough res for Zetsu to try and attempt if he was ever to try that. But of course now you can see Psycho taking a few hits in the process as the rest of the players there from Euphoric Gods now wrap around and come in behind them. But of course now we see the players there from Gorilla Glue also now just coming into render range. So this could be a very interesting position. Oh, Zetsu finds one. Will he follow up with the next one as Hunter now comes rushing in? Oh, steps out and down he goes. Getting caught in the crossfire.
Oh, and Zetsu did good there, but 3 versus 1, 90% of the time, you will lose that one. Gorilla Glue, they almost got center zone for themselves. Then Black Jack Esports up north, they pretty much settled there in that compound. It's their real estate, but we're going to have the Scavengers coming out in the open, so they might get bobbed from Black Jack's side.
Oh, yes, definitely a lot of bopping can happen in this game as we're sitting on 10 players, 36 players still alive. It's just a little less than 4, but well, if Vegeta starts sliding off of stuff like that, it is going to be a pretty tough game for them. But of course, fortunately, the dodgy Mr. Raji is moving in for the res, giving Vegeta a bit of a pep talk there, telling him, you know, maybe avoid the cliff sides as it is quite slippery. And, you know, blue zone is coming in. It is third phase. You don't really want to have yourself in such a difficult predicament.
Yeah, it's only the third game, Vegeta. It's not necessary to jump off roofs now, especially not when the blue zone is coming. But we do have Honored Souls there to the northern side of Toxic Esports. So Toxic not too far away from the zone, luckily for them. Vegeta still running for the hills, not getting the meds going there. Probably just wants to get into zone first.
A very Hillary approach, but of course now see the players here from the Honored Souls honoring their approach into zone as they now move up on top of the hill. The players from Scavengers still managing to find their way on in as they also now come in with a sneaky approach, a quick entrance into the western edge of the zone. But of course now we wait to see whether or not they're going to pounce on the players there from the Honored Souls, or if they will try and turn their attention elsewhere as we see that zone shift up once again, but heading east, the far east.
And just like that, we're gonna have Black Jack Esports and Divinity 6 in a dogfight pretty soon as Cyrus69 Virus fires away at Vile and just didn't get the knockdown there. She's cooking that nade. DK on that tree. Connect. What a nade, and Vile gets taken out there by Cyrus with a beautiful nade. Sorry. Standing behind that tree. Smokes are out. Will Vile be revived? Another smokes gets popped off there. Reverb firing away, getting the knock on Swirly, or that was MG getting the knock on Swirly with some assistance there from Reverb. Snow's gonna have to go for the revive there. Sorry, he's busy pushing up. Cyrus in a world of trouble here. We've got Sorry and the whole of Blackjack pushing on one player here. Unfortunately, Cyrus, don't think she'll make it. I wouldn't move an inch if I was her. She's pushing, she's not afraid of anything, but she gets taken out and gets knocked there. She'll definitely get confirmed. Sorry, and MG busy pushing Swirly and Snow, and Snow gets taken out by an excellent grenade. Swirly gets taken out by Sorry, and Black Jack Esports wipes the squad just like that. Free path for them to get to zone. We do have Euphoria and Scavengers not far from them.
I mean, that is definitely one of those sorry, not sorry situations. But of course now, Psycho, coming in with a crazy spray onto the side there of MG. Tries to pick up the second one onto Sorry. But of course, fortunately, Reverb is there to come in with that res. And of course, now Vile providing an additional layer of cover there. But this is such a tricky position for the players there from Blackjack to be in. Of course, you can see the shots just finding their way on in. Hunter now once again having that Hunter mode engaged, but of course now, getting a little bit too cheeky. Ventures out a little bit too far and of course pays the price for that venture. But now Psycho quickly recovering a little bit of health. We can see the players there from the Honored Souls also now popping off a few shots in towards the side of Toxic. But Reverb just up ahead of Psycho there. The shots flying on over, but they are getting pushed by another squad coming in from the south. So things could get quite tricky for the players here from the Euphoric Gods as they now are getting third party by the Scavengers. And of course, who is staying true to their name, coming in to scavenging on the damage that has already been caused. But now Psycho still being relentless in his efforts, trying to land the hits. Flacco getting lit up there by a lovely molly coming in, and Rampage getting it taken out now by Psycho as he pushes on forward. Zulu right there behind the rock, patiently waiting. But up they come, Sunny and Psycho. S and S pushing in. Zulu getting sandwiched. There we go. What a play. But of course now things are looking fairly tough on the side of the Euphoric Gods. The Psycho needs to try and make that final play. Finds the shot in towards Rila. Wow. Ryder still remains for Scavengers. Come on. Oh, Psycho now scavenging for the kills. Finds a few. But of course, things are still going to be pretty tough. They need to heal up and push up into that zone.
Psycho just doing excellent work there, but now Black Jack Esports has rotated, so they will be gate kept there, and seems like G3 also ran into some trouble there. They down to 2 members, and RXV doing excellent.
Yeah, they are indeed are. We've got Bucky, AK, and Vipex holding up right there on the front line. But of course, we see Ryder up on the top here. Psycho finding a few easy shots. Reverb actually now getting knocked in the process as well. But of course, Toxic also still in the game, trying to push on forward. Unknown coming in with the unknown approach, trying to find that entry point in towards the zone. Will he get it done? Unknown. We don't know just yet. We'll find out soon enough. But of course, now the players here from Euphoric. Oh! Run right into the side of the Blackjacks, who ends the game right there for them. And of course, now we still have all these teams trying to cram themselves into the zone as the next shift comes in and moves out into an open field where none of the teams are located just yet.
Bowden gets taken out by Bucky and gets confirmed, and it's down to 6 God to clutch it out for G3 Temper, and Vipex very close to Bowden. 6 God and 6 God gets taken out by Black Jack Esports from across the river. No ferry needed, just bullets, and that's all she wrote.
Yes, indeed, that is all she wrote, because she ran out of ink in the process. But either way now, we see Reverb and Co now pushing up the hill, heading over towards Unknown. Oh, this is going to be so interesting as we got the players from Rila also just up ahead of them. The shots now flying in towards the team there. Oh, Rila getting hit down goes Reverb. Unknown just lying in wait, strikes into the side of Sorry. Beautiful ambush coming in there from Unknown. But of course now MG is moving up, trying to make something of the situation. The players there, of course, from Gorilla Glue just holding up on the side. But Unknown coming out of nowhere. Such a beautiful play into Blackjack.
Sure, Unknown just unknowingly ran himself into Black Jack Esports and got 2 kills there for his team. He's the lone survivor. 4 teams left, 7 players alive, 2v2, v3, v1, or 2 solos versus TK. The third parties was insane for a second there.
I mean, that was just crazy stuff. Of course, you can see our 2 stragglers up over towards the western side. We got the players there from Gorilla Glue, still looking fairly tight, holding on, just sticking it through in this match. And of course, MG seals the deal on towards Mr. Unknown. So we are now down to 3 remaining teams. That, of course, is the players from Spaza. It is the Gorilla Glue team, and it is MG. And of course, the only team in zone at the current moment is the players there from Spaza. So they could potentially cause quite a bit of harm to these other 2 remaining teams who are still to find a way on in. And the blue zone, of course, now starting to close on up as well. Romeo and Anger just holding their position down below. But Zeke finds the shot in it towards Anger. Man, this is going to be such a tough zone.
And MG taking that opportunity to rotate a bit closer towards the zone. And now it's basically we do have 3 squads. Solos, Row got the race there. But Row is in the blue zone. He won't be making it. Zeke, very low on HP. And Rilla crawling into the zone there. MG might still be able to clutch this. Romeo, I think he's got the better position out of all of these guys. Will he be able to make something happen?
Oh, I can tell you either way. It is going to be tough. It is going to be tough. We are now down to a whole bunch of stragglers. A 1v1v1. See Ro now just getting rode out of this match right back into the lobby. Zeke right on the edge. We don't have any of the players in the zone just yet. And of course, typical PUBG fashion, the zone shifting into such a difficult position. But the blue zone is closing in. MG now boosting up in preparation for this blue zone shift. You can see Zeke also just hanging around on the edge of the zone. No one wants to be the first one to move. No one wants to be the one caught out by any of these opposing players. But of course now Romeo just hugging the side of this rock, staying true to his nature. So romantic with that spot. I don't know if he'll ever be able to let it go. But of course, he needs to make a call. He needs to make a play. Zeke, inching his way forward, finds the shot in towards MG. And now it is Zeke and Romeo left to fight it out for that chicken dinner. Up comes Romeo, rushing into the side of Zeke, strafing back and forth, tries to find the angle. Zeke now says, not yet. Oh, there we go. Come on. Oh, Romeo. What a beautiful chicken that was. Spaza 6 finishing off this game on 8 kills and a lovely chicken dinner to accompany that. Wow.
No, excellent work there from Spaza 6, doing very good there, Romeo. With the patience he had, I mean, the patience from all three these players in the last zones, snaking like that. It is Sanok, but it's not easy, DK, I'll tell you that. And then in second place, we do have Gorilla Glue Esports. Third place, Black Jack Esports with an impressive kill count there. We do have 13 kills for Black Jack Esports. Toxic coming in fourth place with 2 kills. Then, VXR, they do have 7 kills for them. G3 Temper with 5 kills in 6. Then we've got Euphoric Gods with 7 kills in 7th place. Scavengers, 4 kills. Doing a bit better this time around. And then Honored Souls coming in 9th with only 2 kills, our previous chicken dinner winners. Then we do have Divinity 6 in 10th with 0 kills. Akatsuki 11 in 11th place with 1 kills. VG 12 with 0 kills. And 13th we've got 6 Gaming with 0 kills. 14th place, Young Thundercats, 1 kill. And then G3AAO in 15th with 1 kill. Nibble, surprise, last place with 0 kills. I did expect a bit more from Nibble, but they dropped on top of Temper in Paradise Resort, and it's never easy dropping with any other squad, or any squad for that matter, when you're doing Paradise Resort.
Yeah, indeed, it is quite a challenging position for teams to fight in, especially in the early game. And as we saw now, you know, it proved to be quite a bit of a challenge for these teams to make their way on through. But of course, now for the next one, we're going to be heading in towards Erangel to see what the teams are going to bring us in this final match for today. So, do you have any expectations moving into this final match?
Well, we started with Miramar, DK, and we ended Erangel, and we're ending with Erangel. So the nerves the teams had for that first game might be gone now. Some teams might feel, listen, we don't have anything to lose. Let's go drop in Puchinki. Let's go drop on Black Jack Esports and see what happens. So I'll definitely think we're gonna see a few surprises this time around. Some teams coming and creating havoc for other teams. Most of the people can already guess who's on top of the leaderboards, or have some kind of idea who's on top of the leaderboards. So definitely surprises in store for Erangel.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see how the teams progress through that. But of course, before we move into the break, all right, we were talking about MAG before right at the end of the previous match, right? So tell us again just about the devices that MAG provides to their clients.
Well, Mobile Arena Gaming, it's basically they're the sole providers of the Nubia Red Magic and the Black Shark devices in South Africa, and with that you get full service as well. So the problem in the past where you didn't have service available to you, customer service and all that. Mobile Arena Gaming provides that as well, DK. And when it comes to a bit more technical side about the devices themselves, you can look at the different RAMs. You get 12 gig, 8 gig, 18 gig RAM options for yourself, the memories. It's basically like your everyday phone. Only thing is, it's insane for gaming. You've got built-in triggers in both the respective devices. 90 FPS comes standard, and then as well as the refresh rate that you get, the giant screen you have. It's just a phenomenal phone. The speed of this phone, and it's got Snapdragon processors, both of these devices as well. So for PUBG, I mean, Tencent themselves endorse these devices, so you have to know it's worth the effort. It's worth your while to get one of these devices. If you're serious about your gameplay, if you're serious about wanting to play with these types of players or in these types of tournaments and be on that level, I definitely recommend that you get yourself one of these devices. G3 Temper, the whole team has devices thanks to Mobile Arena Gaming as well as Black Jack Esports. All of them have some of these devices. And if you know any one of those players, you can ask them. It's definitely worth it getting one of these devices.
Well, there we go. There we have it. So, of course, if you are interested in acquiring one of those devices for yourself, be sure to check out the links down in the description. Everything is there. So, well, there we go. We're going to be heading into a quick break. We'll see you guys right back after as we move into our final match of the day. See you guys back in a bit. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Of course, we're now getting ready for our final match of the evening, of course, which will be taking us right back in towards Erangel. So, Fat Man, we've been seeing these teams going at it, going head to head, toe to toe, cheek to cheek in some circumstances. So, what are you expecting to see in this last match?
Well, DK, after a full Dixie flank, we started with Erangel and we are back with Erangel. We're gonna see teams do funny things. Like I said at the end of the last game, we're gonna see teams trying to pull out all the stops, get some kind of miracle going, and see if they can't get some extra points. And I like these teams that keep on fighting and just don't give up. And well, thanks to Mobile Arena Gaming for bringing us all this way. We are in the final game, and it is time to see what's up. Separate the men from the boys and the girls. Divinity 6, I know you there. And let's see what's going to happen, DK.
So, of course, now we're waiting to see who's going to be pulling rabbits out of hats and who's going to be pulling hats out of rabbits as we jump into this final match to see what the teams will bring. But, of course, now we're just waiting for that timer to run down so we can jump in straight towards that flight path. So, of course, expecting a few interesting things to come from this. In the first match, the first visit we had, we saw the players there from G3 Temper clutching it out, finishing off with that chicken dinner and 15 kills. We had Gorilla Glue finishing in second place on 11. And then, of course, the players from Akatsuki finishing up in third place, of course, with 3 kills. So, definitely looking forward to seeing what the teams are going to be doing. I mean, even the players from Ultra 6, they finished off with 10 kills in 11th place on our first visit on Erangel. So hopefully the fourth match, the last one, the second visit to Erangel, will once again bring some interesting plays from all these teams.
It's definitely going to be interesting, DK. Like I said, some surprises coming our way. And it seems like the flight path is coming straight down from the southern section of the map there from Sosnovka military base, and it's heading over towards Stalber. So Servany is going to be in play, Puchinki, Rozok, School, obviously military base, and we're going to see some early on action. Seems like we already have a couple of teams heading towards military base, and that's something new. We do have MAG heading there, and it's funny we're not seeing Sparza 6 going to mill base. I know that's one of their preferred drop locations.
Yeah, well, of course, it's always good to change things up a little bit to keep your opponents guessing exactly where it is that you're going to try and go. But of course, now we see the Young Thunder team as well as the MAG Vegeta team dropping straight down into that Sosnovka military base. So potentially we could have some nice, spicy early engagements in this final match.
We have the Young Thundercats in a bit of a split here. We do have 3 of the players in the C buildings, and then on this big walkway or bridge or whatever you want to call it, one of those players. But MAG, VG, Pikachu, Aimbot, Bade, and Heatwave quite bundled up here. Seems like Pikachu might be disconnected here, so that might be an easy kill for one of these Young Thundercats players.
I think Pikachu is just busy charging up, getting ready for what is to come in this match. As you said, we're expecting some interesting things to come from this. So I definitely think Pikachu is just busy charging up, getting ready, as we see the rest of the squad now making their way on through. Oh, down goes Pikachu. Gets chosen by the side there of the Young Thunder team. But of course now the rest of the squad still left to make their play. And of course Aimbot coming in here with a very distinctive outfit.
So, well, if you don't want to be seen, that's definitely not something to wear, DK. But with that being said, the first zone has made its appearance, and we do have a kind of a southwestern zone going. So all the people up north, northeast, we do have Akatsuki in middle top power. They're going to have to rotate through G3 Temper, most probably Black Jack Esports in the trusted Puchinki, as always. Nibble, we do have them in Yasnaya, and then up north a bit we do have VXR, 100 Souls, as well as Sparza 6, quite clustered here out in the open, and then Toxic Esports in Rozok.
Oh, quite a spread there, of course, coming in with the team. And as you can see, a few flares lighting up the way, lighting up the zone for the teams. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what is going to happen from that. But of course, a nice position also there for the Scavengers, positioned all the way down in towards Rozok. And I like this addition of the zone being slightly inclusive of the southern region. But of course, now we got the players here from MAG making their way around once again, pushing up further and further forward. We have that flare making its way on in, but we also saw a nice bit of a vehicle knock coming in as the players here from, well, the Honored Souls are finding their way on through and finding some vulnerabilities in the teams that they run across.
Yeah, as Darko's running over Schizo there with the buggy, and Sparza 6 might be in trouble here. Honored Souls, 1 kill on the board, and we saw in the previous, the second game, DK, what they are capable of, so definitely need to keep our eye on them.
Of course, now we've got the Vipex here playing hide and seek as Clutch. Oh, and Zodiac steps right on up, and of course the stars really aligning here for Vipex as he now gets in off the side. Darko steps in just to seal the deal and close things off for them. But of course, the rest of the team here from the VXR team making their way on through, not anywhere near their teammate, but of course, that is just the way things are, the way things turn out to be. But of course, now we jump over in towards school. We see the players from the Euphoric Gods making their way around. We have the players there from Toxic, as you mentioned before, just positioned up in towards the northwest of them. So it's going to be interesting to see how these teams are going to try and rotate into the next phase, and of course, where they'll take occupation in this coming zone.
It might be a bit more of some slower play this time around. I think the most action we'll find is there at Rozok and School. We do have Euphoria and Toxic, like you mentioned, but we also have Sparza coming into zone from the north. They're already down a couple of players, which is not good. And then VXR seems to be heading towards Yasnaya, straight into the mouth of Nibble Esports.
Of course, that's going to be a very interesting rotation, especially as the teams situated on this eastern side of the map, they need to try and find a safe passage, safe way in towards the zone. Of course, you can see one of the players there from the Sparza team taking a bit of an alternative approach, pushing into North George, which is quite strange. I mean, we can see North and South George being a very, very open. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're going to try and potentially loot up and then get into zone, or if they're going to try and rotate all the way across. But of course, I mean, so many teams still just scattered out throughout this map. I think it's going to be a while until we see the teams really getting into those fights.
It will definitely, it will be a while, and Sparta will have more than enough time to maybe get a bit extra loot there. The original drop location was in the middle of nowhere and costing them one player in the end. Coco, Romeo and Anger quite spread out. Anger just searching for a bit of loot there, and then Toxic rotated away from Rozok there towards the water town. But TK, we do have Akatsuki and G3 Temper very close to each other. Akatsuki with a risky rotation through that farm area. I mean, they should know G3 will be waiting there.
Of course, now, I mean, we see G3 mobilizing themselves in a hot pursuit, trying to catch up with the players there from Akatsuki up ahead of them. As you can see, Mighty Guy just barely managing to stay ahead of Buden as he makes his way on through. This is some PUBG GTA action. Hot pursuits and all. Unfortunately for Buden, he doesn't have a co-pilot in the next seat being able to fire the shots in towards Mighty Guy. But either way, he is going to try and chase him down, trying to catch up with him. Oh, seems like Mighty Man is doing a bit of drifting there. Getting so close, about to run in. But of course, Akatsuki can lure him into the rest of the squad, as Mighty Man now is attempting to do that, pulling him right up towards Zetsu. Oh,
Well, definitely a bad idea for Bowden to keep on following Might Guy, but he had to know that he's going towards his squad. But Zetsu out in this little shack here, and oh, Bowden taking a couple of shots there, almost gets knocked, jumps out of the car, he needs to go prone, and he will fire back at Zetsu, and Bowden gets knocked out by Might Guy, and they took him for a perfect bait. But never fear, Gunnar is here for the res, and the rest of G3 coming in hot.
I mean, Gunner now getting gunned down as the shots come in. Lobster looking a bit red as he pushes closer. Of course, just providing that extra layer of support to his teammate. You can see Lobster now quickly trying to get out of that red zone, just trying to heal on up. But Borny runs over Flacco. 6 funds the shots into the side of Lobster. Down he goes, lobbing onto the floor. But of course, now Akatsuki still just trying to hold on. As you can see, Mighty Man coming in for the res. Borny just way off in the distance, trying to reposition, trying to find a good angle. But of course, things are also now starting to heat up on the bridge as we see the players here from the G3 AAAO team. There's too many A's in that one. AAA. What am I doing?
Hey, they're in trouble. Yeah, G3 AAO seems to be in a bit of trouble here. Aspect in the middle of this whole team. He's got no one with him. The whole YT squad with him. And one of their players, Sphinx, gets knocked and confirmed there. And the rest of the team is pushing up. When we do have Tyler quite far away. And Gorilla. Funny thing, DK, for those of you that don't know, Gorilla is my brother. So, little bro, what are you doing?
Man, it's going to be tough against all odds. Aspect gets knocked out, and of course now everything is riding on Tyler. Gorilla still alive, just huddled up over on towards the edge of that shoreline. But here we go, Tyler now sneaking on in. Aspect getting thirsted. Down he goes. Ooh, little bit of a brave jump coming in there from Adonis as he pushes on in. Tyler! Welcome to the lobby with open arms.
He had to try. But in the meantime, with G3 Temper and Akatsuki got taken out and G3 booked away with the 3 kills there. No damage done. And Rilla Trip getting the last person off Akatsuki and confirming him there.
Yeah, a really tough finish there for Akatsuki as they get sent right back into the lobby. But of course, now we see the team here from Nibble also venturing forth as they make their way up this hill. We've got the players there from Black Jack just on the opposite end. So things are starting to heat up as the teams are getting closer and closer together. Of course, we are still in our first phase. We haven't even made it into the second one, already down by 2 teams. But of course, now as we jump over towards the players here from the Euphoric Gods, you can see the team from G3 just rolling up down to the south of their position. So there is some potential for a little bit of aggression once again to find its way between these players. As you can see, Gunnar and Buden now taking aim right down towards them.
And Buden's got that M249 and MK14 combination with a ghillie suit added to that. So dangerous combination as Euphoria takes a couple of shots and lays down some fire, just telling them, hey, listen, we're here. You're not getting this compound. Go look for another one.
I mean, some fantastic hits coming in. Oh, Buden finds a quick shot down below into the window, but of course taking a little bit of damage in the process as well. Sunny being the one to suffer those hits. Of course, now you can see they are still trying to hold on. Oh, Hunter now peeking that window. Coming out of nowhere. And of course, this Mark 14 M249 combo can be pretty deadly, especially in the right hands. But a Hunter says no to that. Comes in with the AWAM, smacking Buden in the head, and down he goes. Of course, now Flacco coming in for the res, and G3 now having to try defend this region. But of course, we've got a nice bit of action potentially now coming in from this eastern side as the players here from Nibble make their way on through. And a few teams now also just still spread out in front of them.
Oh, we do have G3 not really phased by that knock. It's just going to be a knock, and knock and revive, knock and revive. We do have Toxic, Vegeta and the boys rotating past, and they're coming all the way up to G3, and Flacco might put down some shots here, but no one gets, an unknown gets knocked out there by one of the G3 players. Excellent work. And Roggy, he just headed straight for the compound, and Toxic Vegeta gets knocked out and confirmed as well. And just like that, Toxic in a world of trouble. Nibble Odyssey capitalizing on the split that Toxic Esports got there.
And of course, you can see them now trying to move on in. Ricky and Roger, some R&R on the side of Toxic, trying to stay alive as long as they possibly can. But down goes Ricky. Vindog coming in with a cheeky shot into the back there of Ricky. I don't know what I'm going for on that one, but either way, it is now all riding on Raji to try and defend. You see now, just keeping a watchful eye on G3 up ahead. But this is going to be such a difficult position, such a big convergence of teams, all in the central portion of the zone.
Yeah, it's about to go down, DK. G3 in a world of trouble. They've got 2-3 teams right around them. Raki gets confirmed there by Spyro, and it's down to Mr. Roggy from Toxic Esports to carry his team all the way to the end. Adonis taking some fire there from Flacco, but the Whitey boys decide to rotate around, and they might meet Mr. Roggy pretty soon. But G3 in a dangerous position. They need to get themselves out here.
Yeah, definitely. Pressure is starting to mount, as you can see. The Young Thunders now just rolling on in. But of course, now everyone trying to take position in that center zone. Things looking pretty tough. But of course, you can see Young Thunder. They're pushing up in towards Chopsticks. And of course, the players there from Black Jack, they just hanging around over towards the east. They don't seem to face just yet. Just keeping a watchful eye, letting everyone just fight it out. And then we could potentially see them swoop in with a bit of a third party there. But of course, they're keeping a very watchful eye still over towards all the regions within their line of sight. But here we go now. Nibble trying to improve their own position as they move into the southern side there of Chopsticks, crashing into the compound. But of course, now the Euphoric Gods are very happy to welcome them in. Sinister now, of course, getting knocked out in the process. Young Thunder also still just trying to improve that position as they now rotate back down to the south.
For one, Young Thundercats finding himself very close to that ditches they were in at the very first game where they got taken out by Six Gaming and third-partied by Black Jack Esports, but Euphoria fighting tooth and nail to keep Double Esports away from them.
It's going to be so tough. Oh! Psycho finding that hit into the side there offside, and down he goes. But of course, now the players here from Euphoric Gods are applying that pressure. They are pushing in, and of course now taking advantage of their angles, finding the hits into the side there of the players from the Young Thunders as well. So really good positional play coming in here from the Euphoric Gods. But of course now it all depends on whether or not they're able to keep up that momentum and continue to apply the pressure and find those hits into the opponents.
Okay, it is the final game, so if you get that knock, you need to get the first. The points will help you, and you don't have anything to lose.
Yeah, indeed, they don't have anything left to lose, but of course now everyone still continuing in. We're waiting to see where the next zone is going to be taking us. Of course, so many teams all huddled up in the central portion of the zone. But of course, now we see the players up in the north there on the foothills of Everest. That being the players there from Spaza 6, taking up a fairly decent position. But at the moment, the fight that we see here between these three teams has come to a slight bit of a stalemate. Everyone just waiting for that positional angle. And of course, oh, Sidon finds a nice one into the side of Superior. Not finding the knock just yet. But of course, I'm pretty sure with this next zone shift, we're going to see these teams coming in with their rotations. And of course, once again, turning up that aggression dial.
Oh, and Adonis goes down there to that AWM shot. But yeah, DK, the zone is still big and the zone has shifted. And yet again, we do have Mount Everest in play like with the first game. Will Gorilla Glue Esports rotate towards that mountain, I'm betting they will. They know it, they've done it in the first game, and that is what they are used to. Meantime, Temper and Toxic's gonna have a hard time getting into zone there from the south.
It's going to be interesting, definitely, to see how these teams are going to try and rotate. Of course, now Raji here keeping that angle still. Hunter coming in with the AWAM shots once again, just finding them straight into the side there. So some really well placed hits, but of course you can see that big migration coming in from the teams as everybody is trying to head up into the north of that zone. But the players here from the Euphoric Gods, oh, getting hit by Young Thunder as Adonis finds a beautiful deep 28 hit into the side of Hunter. Oh, here comes G3. Buden, too excited to just move in, throws himself off of the vehicle and gets knocked out almost instantly. But now the players here from the Euphoric Gods are just capitalizing on that misfortune. And of course, this could be a very easy squad wipe handed towards them if they play this one right.
Oh, and Temper with a huge mistake. Six God coming in for the assistance, coming in for the backup. They're not going to go for the res now. They just want to make sure that Sunny and the boys are way far away from them. But that molly, what an excellent molly. Six God goes down. Buden gets confirmed. And now Euphoria in the driver's seat. Flaco, only one remaining. Sunny getting very close there. Sinister.
Oh.
And
Sunny.
unfortunately, G3 Temper gets taken out. I'm going to be honest with you, GK. It wasn't something nice to watch. But YT, the young Thundercats, took this opportunity and capitalized on it. They have rushed Euphoria. So now it's a 4v2. And just like that, young Thundercats now have the upper hand. Excuse me, it's a 3v2. A 4v3, Sunny gets taken out, make it a 4v2, Sinister and Psycho left to defend their little compound in that corner of the world.
And it's going to be a really tough one as Young Thunder now just rolls on up, applying that aggression once again. Sinister getting hit in the backside. Thunder now left to try and defend as the players here from Young Thunder come rushing on in. First out, ready to roll. And they find the hits in to Psycho. Down they go. Of course, with that one, we now move into our final 10 teams. Of course, 32 players still scattered throughout the zone here. You can see the players here from the VXR Esports team now also quickly tending to their wounded as they had a few knocks coming in. But of course the Scavengers also pushing further in as they now find entry on that western side of the zone. We still have such a big scattering of these teams, so I'm waiting to see if anyone is going to start getting a bit aggressive now.
Well, DK, can you say deja vu? I mean, just look at Mount Everest. Look at where Sparza 6 finds themselves. It's like a repeat of the very first game.
Yeah, things looking very, very similar there. And of course, well, it's going to be interesting to see where this next zone shift's going to go. If it moves back up in towards that northwestern side, it is a little bit more than deja vu we'll have then, as things could get pretty tough and spicy. But unfortunately, it just moves a little bit more to the east.
Yeah, and with that zone shift, MAGVG finds themselves to an advantage. So let's see what's going to happen here. We do have Hornet Souls changing it up a bit, coming into center zone very early on, whereas with the other games they would rotate late. But we've got Zodiac heading straight into that pit of MAGVG players. Just securing a compound here for his team, it seems. Very good on you, sir. But we do have Sparza 6 coming in from the western side. Coco heading straight towards that team.
The players here from Nibble having a bit of a bumpy approach, bit of a bumpy ride, finding their way into the zone. A few shots now flying up, that vehicle getting blown out, but here we go. The players now from Spaza stepping on up. We see Rilla find a quick shot into the side there of Nibble, but this is the big rush we've been waiting for, as we see absolute pandemonium now just erupting across the screen here. All the teams now getting ready, getting loaded, and getting set for the fight. They want to get this fight underway. Of course, 10 teams remain, 31 players still alive. And the players here from Gorilla Glue, of course, now still just hugging the edge of this Everest side. But now, MAG Vegeta stepping in with a few shots. Of course, trying to defend the compound with everything they have in their arsenal. And of course, so many teams, still up in the north. But here we go. Spaza up against the Young Thunder team. Let's see, will Coco and Anger be able to hold on to the spot? Coco getting hit. Oh, Boxy! Down he goes. Coco so low on health. He is one copper away from the lobby. But of course, fortunately, Spaza just hold on and manages to find those hits. But up comes Adonis. Down he goes. And Anger wins the fight.
Excellent work there from Spaza, but ACV Scavengers in trouble. They're very close there to Vindog and the rest of the Nibble guys, and ACV seems like they want to push, but Nibble in a world of trouble, and they get taken out there. Toxic Mr. Rocky with a huge rotation coming down from the northern side and gets a third party going there.
Yeah, Mr. Rocky on a roll. Of course, bringing in a really good play there. Good positioning play. And of course, now we wait to see what the rest of the lobby is going to try and do, as we have that zone shifting up once again in favor of MAG Vegeta. You can see them now taking aim to the teams who are trying to rotate on up. That, of course, being the players there from Gorilla Glue. We got Babe now keeping a watchful eye on the one side. We got Aimbot now just taking aim, firing the shots into the side of Rilla. As you can see, J-Roller now being forced to move in behind the rocks to recover an additional bit of health before trying to push further in towards the zone. Aimbot now, of course, being relentless in the efforts. A lot of crossfire coming in. Down he goes. Heatwave finds the shots, and of course, things are looking so tough.
Gorilla Glue Esports, that's Coco finding a shot there as well, but that mountain not working out for them this time around. They are going to abandon Roller there, so it's just Trip and Zeke left to fight it out, and let's see what the strategy is going to be here. They do have Spaza on the one side, and then Aimbot and VG on the other side. Mr. Roggy, he's just there in the back waiting his time out, waiting for the zone to push him, and Aimbot takes out and confirms Roller there, but Rilla, Trip and Zeke in a world of trouble. Coco stalking them from down below.
I mean, 8 teams, 21 players. You can see the players there from the Honored Souls right there alongside Black Jack. We've got MAG now holding on, trying to lay down a bit of fire into the side there of Rilla, but of course Coco on the opposite end of Rilla, just adding in the extra bit of pressure to them. So we only got a few more positions that these teams can try and take occupation of. But of course, they're going to be relentless in their efforts. They want to be the team to claim that chicken dinner. But of course now, the players here from the Gorilla Glue team finding a few more shots into the side there of Spaza. Mr. Raji still alive, now making his way through. Of course, the Scavengers now are feeling a bit of pressure as Zulu gets knocked on out. Lila now trying to move on up, but here we go. The players there from VXR also just rolling on in. Will they try and crash the party as the shots now find their way on through? Down. Ooh, almost having it down on towards AK, but of course now Bucky just huddled up behind the rock, trying to stay safe as long as possible. But up goes Mr. Raji. Down he goes. Beautiful finish there, of course, delivering himself on a silver platter onto the side of the VXR team. But of course now the players here from MAG still fighting things out on the side with the Gorilla Glue team, and things are looking pretty hairy, especially on this western side.
are currently heat wave from MAGVG knocked, but Rilla and Zeke aren't moving too much. Couple of nades coming in there from Romeo's side, as well as aimbots get taken out with that AKM. And now Bade or Bade is under pressure. He needs to raise two of his players. Do you have SG pushing from behind, and SG taken out there by Black Jack Esports from a hell of a distance. DK DP spray from Vile, and that is all she wrote. MAGVG back up on their feet. Rilla and Trip and Zeke don't know what they're gonna do here. They can't use the vehicles to move. MAGVG does have that compound for the time being, but 16 seconds, the zone will move yet again.
Oh, and of course the players there that we saw from the Honored Souls have a really good positional play in the zone, taking occupation of the only compound over towards the eastern side of the zone. But of course everyone now having a very similar idea. Everybody trying to push on in, trying to gain entry into the side of the zone. But here we go now. MAG rushing in. Oh, Bade stopping right in front of Bucky, almost getting that knock. But of course here we go. The smokes in play. Bucky strikes, down they go. But of course now the Souls hit the home run, getting some easy kills in the process. Of course now you can see the absolute carnage unfolding between these teams as we now move into our final two. That is now Black Jack up against the players here from the Honored Souls.
You have a full squad versus the three players from Black Jack Esports, but look at MG, what a guy, already moving himself towards zone, securing a good spot, and Darko's coming in to do the same, but he's a bit late. He takes some heat there, just gets to cover, and Zodiac joins him. So now this is going to be interesting. Darkos gets taken out by Vile, so it's 3v3. DK Vile gets knocked out again by Soul Zodiac. So I don't know, this MG is going to have to clutch this out. That's what I'm seeing happening here, DK.
And well, Clutch will also have to clutch this out. So as you mentioned, it is a 3v3 as we move into what could potentially be the final circle. The teams now just spread out, everyone hugging the edge. Of course, the zone itself getting absolutely smoked up, trying to provide as much cover as they possibly can. But MG using the vehicle as some hard cover. Of course, that vehicle hasn't been blown up just yet, so that of course could backfire at any moment. As you can see, Clutch keeping a very watchful eye on the angle where we see Vile and Sorry. MG still this positioned over towards that far side, but a really interesting play coming in from both these teams though, putting up an absolutely phenomenal play to make it into this late phase.
Both these teams not doing too great the first match we had, but match 2 and 3, and now definitely match 4, they're showing us what they are made of. And I must tell you, this Honored Souls team has definitely surprised me, DK.
Man, what a play, what a play. Of course, now we wait to see where the zone is going to be going. It's going to be closing up in the next 50 seconds. Everyone now just waiting, trying to buy as much time as they can, trying to get as much information as they are able to get in this current position. And of course, it is looking pretty tough. The first team to get spotted will have such a challenging time to defend themselves. But of course now you can see MG cooking up those nades, finds a little bit of damage. Nothing too crucial just yet. Everybody now.
This is where we realize who's got the most hair on their teeth, who's got the patience to wait it out. We have Zodiac firing away there towards Sorry. Zodiac in quite a good position here. DK has got a bit of higher ground, so he can spot those guys snaking. But Zodiac gets taken out by MG, knocked, and it's definitely now a 3v2. They will not go for that race.
Oh, now down goes Clutch as well. Everything now riding on Hellboy. Up they come.
Oh.
Black Jack steals the chicken dinner away, finishing off the match on 11 kills. the players there from the Honored Souls coming in with a really valiant effort, of course, finishing in second place on 6 kills. And then, of course, the team there from Gorilla Glue finishing in third on 3 kills.
Excellent work there all across the board from all these teams, and we'd like to thank each and every one of them for joining us tonight and making tonight a success. We'd also like to thank Mobile Arena Gaming for hosting, or for DK for hosting this, and Mobile Arena Gaming for sponsoring us with the prize money and making it all possible. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to go and subscribe to MAG's YouTube and Facebook pages to make sure that you know when the next event will be. Also, try and get yourself one of those excellent devices. TK, it's been an excellent night. The teams, I mean, slot number 4, we do have RXV, the RXV guys with 2 kills, and then in 5th, MAGVG doing excellent this time around, doing very good, played that zone, that side of the mountain very good. And then Sparza with 5 kills in 6th place. 7th, SCV Toxic in 8th with 1 kill. Nibble 3 kills, 9th place. And then Young Thundercats with 9 kills in 10th place. Then Euphoria 3 kills in 11th. G3 Temper 5 kills in 12th place. 13th place Akatsuki with 0 kills, and then in 14th place G3AAO with 0 kills.
Yeah, definitely a pretty tough and hairy finish for these teams, but of course a really good showing that we had across the board. In fact, across all 4 matches that we've been watching here today. So yeah, I have to echo what you said. A really good performance coming in from all these teams. Some really good shows that we had, but of course, you know, this is what it all came down to, right to this final game, to see who was the team to make that final run, and of course, those ever essential points they need to get in and see, of course, where they place on the overall standings. But of course, that is not something we have just yet, but either way, well done, well played, as we now, of course, get to the end of this evening. And of course, you've already said it there, Mr. Fatman, giving a big thank you over towards the people over at MAG, the Mobile Arena Gaming, for making it today's possible. And of course, want to give a big thank you to you as well, even though you're hiding in the background there, the black background that we've got. But either way, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast here today, for the co-hosting. It's been an absolute blast, and of course we want to give a big thank you to everyone that stayed all the way through to the end to see it through. And of course, you guys are legends, but of course, thank you to everyone else that also popped in to have a gander. And of course, well done to all the teams, well done to all the players, absolutely phenomenal stuff. And that is going to bring us to the end for the broadcast here this evening. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, and of course we look forward to seeing you in the next one. So on that one, stay safe, and of course see you guys back again later.
Also, thank